So guess what? Oscar's trying to
What?
keep himself cool. It's pretty hot here today. So
Oh,
he's sitting
really?
in front of the fan.
Oh,
I thought you'd like to know. And it seems like
yeah.
Oscar is pretty what is it? Clairvoyant, because last time we left off in part 1, things were really heating up.
Mm,
So I think it's a great segue.
nice. That's
Yeah.
why he's a true crime bug.
That's why he's our true crime pug.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I
Hmm.
didn't really miss the
Yes.
people that we're about to listen to. No offense to anyone, but yeah. Um, but I will say it was definitely heating up and things were getting very tense.
Hmm.
And you know, we had quite a bit of back and forth about where is Sheena.
Hmm.
And if you recall, it got a little circular. A lot of bantering back and forth, but not really getting to the heart of
Hmm.
the answers that we needed from everyone on what, very simple things. If you remember our extra Mr. Mukerjea,
Yeah.
who played a central role in our last episode's calls. Um,
Hmm.
and so we're going to talk a little bit about, um, we're going to do a little refresher here.
Hmm.
Um, but I did want to say that we have to remember that Sheena Bora went missing on April 24th of 2012. That was on a Tuesday, and the last
Hmm.
episode we listened to calls on that Saturday. And
Yes.
there might be more. So, um, why don't you give us a little recollection as to who are I don't want to call them characters exactly, but in a way that might be
Yeah.
fitting. Um, who are we going to be listening to?
Sure. So we have Peter Mukherjee, Indrani Mukerjea, and Rahul Mukerjea. Rahul is Peter's son, biological son, and Indrani is Rahul's stepmom. She is Peter's second wife. She's also Sheena's mom. So these are the people, the characters we're going to be listening to.
Right. And so, just as a reminder, Sheena was asked to call her mom's sister.
Hmm.
So, um, that is one of the key points to the whole story. So, let me think. Was there anything else? Oh, you know, in the last calls, everybody,
Hmm.
so Peter and Indrani were both in Goa, and
Yes.
Rahul was in Mumbai, and
Hmm.
he was staying in Mumbai, we think, because he didn't want to leave, even though his father is kind of encouraging him to go to Goa.
Hmm.
I think it's reasonable to assume that Rahul does not want to move out of Mumbai because he's hoping that Sheena will return.
Hmm.
Okay? I think
Yeah.
that's where we left off. So should we just jump in?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Rahul.
Hello. Hi. Hi.
Yeah, hi. In fact, when we spoke to Mr. Shubodol also, just to let you know, because, I said, look, if she contacts me, I will immediately kind of, she's not been in touch with me, okay? That is the thing. If she contacts me, I will tell her to obviously put a formal resignation, this, that. But in the meanwhile, I said, you know what we might do, my husband and myself, we'll discuss and we will probably put in a missing report or whatever, in case she doesn't contact. So he said, you wait for 24 hours because, let's chat tomorrow in 24 hours. He said, that is your personal matter. Whatever you all want to do is your personal matter. Wait for 24 hours if she contacts.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, how long has it been now, Indrani? It's been 4 days almost with there's been no contact with her.
Yeah,
so why would you want to wait for another 24
already,
hours?
I don't want to wait. That's why we didn't wait. We don't have to listen to him, no, Rahul.
Yeah.
We didn't wait at all. We immediately contacted. We haven't told him we have contacted. I'm just sharing this with you. Because what we did is the moment we disconnected, Peter and I chatted that what is it that we do next, Because I also thought of the same thing, that why should we wait for 24 hours? If it is going to be found out, let's, find out, and then we are all at peace, because now slowly we are also.
It was her idea. It was her idea. It was my idea. We should move ahead.
Right.
Rahul hasn't been like scratching his eyes out or pulling at his hair. And suddenly, that was a really great pivot.
Yep.
I had almost forgotten that from last episode. I think it's a great refresher to hear it again with a clean, fresh perspective in mind, keeping everything open. But it was just kind of funny to hear that again. Yeah.
As soon as we start getting gaslighted. Gaslit.
Yeah. Definitely. Like, wait a minute. What just happened there?
Yeah.
It's like somebody stealing the ball from your hands.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm going to run with it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever goes. Something will stick.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
So both of us are beginning. I am also beginning to get concerned.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that very honestly. Till now, I was not concerned. Okay. Till morning, I said, TK, she's run away. But the fact is,
TK. TK.
TK.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. TK. Probably should do
not
something
until this morning. Well, she wasn't concerned this morning.
Yeah, as we said from last time, a bit concerned. You were very funny. Bit concerned, little concerned.
Yeah.
Now it's TK. I think I'm a little concerned.
Yeah. Slow drip faucet. Love that.
Slow drip faucet happening here, people. Hang on.
Now it has been, like you said, it's been 4 days at least with someone. I am trying to think of somebody she has contacted, anybody. Okay, who she would touch base with. Now, I don't know any. I know only 2-3 of her friends, Your Pranay and Pranami and, Sanjana, whom she keeps talking Shok and all these people. She keeps talking about them. Now, beyond that, I don't know any of her close friends also who they are. And sometimes she mentions some work girls and all. Now, I have no idea who this Nagpur fellow is. All we want to know that if there is anything in Nagpur, whatever, is her home located to Nagpur? Has she gone to Nagpur? Is she in Nagpur? Then, okay, fair enough. Then we let go, whatever, then we take a call. Then we don't have to go around, but at least still we don't know. I myself didn't want to wait for 24 hours, because in fact, when Peter, I don't want to wait for 24 hours or 5 minutes or whatever.
It's already been sort of 3-4 days, so why would you want to wait for another 24 hours to find out?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be as concerned as I was at the moment, or as concerned as I am at the moment, having not heard from her for 3-4 days.
Correct.
It's out of character, and that's why the very next day I went to the police station, not anyway.
Yeah. No, so anyway, I have no...
That's why I went to the police station the very next day.
I had missed
I don't
this
think I caught that. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't catch that either. That's why I'd gone the very next day. That was a hint, I would say.
Yes.
Here's how you're supposed to be behaving.
Right.
Informed her work people, but we have in the meanwhile communicated and we have started the process.
Okay,
so that you know that way. So if you suddenly receive a call, don't panic. Somebody might just call you to ask, when was the last time she contacted, whatever.
Let me ask you something. Given your, training in psychology, would you say that Rahul would panic if he got a phone call? Was he, do you think that's in his character?
I thought he would look forward to it. Like, why
he's
she panic?
Yeah, absolutely. And so don't panic.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he's panicking about that. I don't think he's going to be panicking about a phone call. He wants all the phone calls.
Yes. But I think she's thinking that she would panic and she's expecting that he would, not realizing that he probably, that's probably guilty knowledge, which he doesn't have.
Or let's just keeping an open mind at the moment still. We can consider it perhaps just projection. Maybe it's just a little projection coming in the way.
Yes.
So anyway,
I like that you couch.
Did you leave us for a moment there?
I did. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Was it? It was just the tension that was rising, right?
I
This
was still
call,
talking.
which is like, it's like, oh my gosh, she's going into
Yeah.
the Mr. Mukerjea thing. I should go.
Again. I
Anyway, all
counted.
right.
She said Nagpur 5 times. Let's see how many
Yeah,
times she says
only
Mr.
5.
Mukherjee.
Oh, I
Only
think there's more
5.
Bentleys and Nagpurs ahead for sure.
Oh, we
Yeah,
should keep a
definitely.
count.
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely. It should be a drinking game. Every time you're in Nagpur or
Yes.
Bentley, you have to drink. All
Oh,
right.
totally.
Okay, let's see if we finally get to the end of this phone call. I mean, I
Yes.
think that last time we had difficulty.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
But whatever, I mean, because she's living with you, so they will call you, okay? So don't panic. It's
Okay.
just that because now we are also getting a bit concerned. So
Yeah.
that's the thing.
There's the bit.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Obviously. Okay. Well.
And if there's
people-
anything, you have my number also, and you have, of course, anyway, this is the number to get in touch with me, and we are both in Goa, and if there is any need, we'll come down to Bombay, whatever you don't, don't worry. Now, see, we've set the ball rolling. We can't go higher than this. We've informed the, head of the crime branch, we can't, and if she's, see, what we basically want to establish here now, for me, the concern is only that, look,
Do you think she took a breath? Like, just asking. Was there even a single breath in that whole thing? Like, she's still going. Trust me, when I push play, she's still talking. I'm like,
I think this is why we had to stop.
I think this is why we had to stop, so we could take a breath.
Yes.
I'll tell you that, it just occurred to me, this is the absolute definition of not letting someone get a word in edgewise.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, what do you think of that?
Indians do have this thing. They talk over people. They won't let people always finish. But this is one extreme. It's like even if you tell her, Indrani, stop. I think Rahul says that, like, stop, like, let me, like, just hear me out. Even that is hard for her to listen to. So she's just on a trip. She's just not listening. She just wants to get whatever she wants to get out without listening to anything that he has to say, because that could be a challenge which she doesn't want to address.
I'm wondering if it's not just the downright strategy.
Yeah.
Let me keep talking.
Yes.
Then he can't steer the conversation. He can't ask me any questions.
Right.
But seriously, she's done this before. I mean, this is not her first time at this rodeo. She really knows how to, keep going. And I think Rahul is just trying to, I don't know, tread water. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, poor guy. I think he's like going back and forth between wearing her out, letting her get to the end of the sentence, and then just, overtaking her, and I think he's thinking the best strategy here is just to keep mum.
Yeah.
So he can get more information out of these guys. That's what it seems like. I don't know. Any thoughts?
That makes sense. I thought he was doing a lot of great things, like a lot of detective type skills, which we've talked about before. But I thought, like, one of the things that he was doing while he was talking to her is to let her talk, because the more she talks, the more she might disclose, and there might be that golden nugget that he gets out of it, which I think he does.
Absolutely. He does.
He says, you haven't mentioned this before. We've talked so much about this. You haven't mentioned this before. So I think he's picking or looking for those cues.
Definitely. And I think there's more to come on that score. I mean, you can just see that he's just kind of lining it all up. I mean, what's really incredible, I mean, not to like stop before we've even really started, but it is really incredible, his endurance here. And I know we mentioned it before, but I mean, that he can keep his head in the midst of all this grief. Like, that is really persevering. I mean, that really tells you that he's a certain kind of person, but it also indicates, sort of how much this girl matters to him, that he would endure this whole thing. Anyway, had to say it again.
No, I'm with you. We're both patient people, I think, and we are having a hard time. And he's like involved, and he's able to do it. So
Too bad
Yeah.
Rahul couldn't pause them like we can.
Mhm.
It might have helped out. He'd be like, okay,
Seriously.
I'll just pause it for a few minutes and get myself together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, here we go.
Okay.
I don't know who the hell this guy is from Nagpur. There's some guy with a Bentley or whatever. I have no clue who he
Okay, I
is.
think
Number
that's
one,
7
correct?
drinks.
Okay, now
Who's counting?
Indrani, how many Bentleys are there in Bombay?
Listen,
That
I
would
have
be
no
one
idea whether
route
she
to check.
correct.
If it's a guy with a
Correct,
Bentley, then it's probably quite a good way of finding out.
Yeah,
can't be too many.
which is, some guy with some Bentley and she refused to kind of, which was what the issue was, okay, that at least tell me who it is, what it is, that she wouldn't say. So I'm kind of beginning to find this whole thing a little bit dodgy myself now.
Yes.
And the only reason now I'm putting 2 and 2 together, that the only reason she contacted me basically was because she wanted the money. That was the only reason she contacted me.
Okay.
There was no other reason that she wanted to contact me. I mean, which,
Okay.
now it is, falling in place.
Mm.
So anyway, so now as long as, that is all I want to know also is that she is all right and, that's beyond that. Then, even I'm not going to kind of, kill myself over this.
What a phrase to use.
Actually, that was a phrase to hear. And actually, I'm not sure that anyone's in any doubt at this point that that's not something she's going to do. What do you think? I liked what you just said. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Who says that for their own kid? You would want to kill yourself to find your kid.
Well, that's what most people say. Like, I'll do anything to find my daughter.
Yeah.
I'll do anything to find my sister if she's gonna keep that
Right.
whole thing rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Excellent. So if you when you get to know,
what I think is just that I mean, I get that she's trying to signal that there's not anything to worry about here. Let's not kill ourselves over it. It's a poor choice of words, as events unfold.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's just constantly signaling that this is not a big deal. She's run off. Anyway, let's hit it. Let's keep moving through.
know anything, please let me know.
Yeah, of course, I will let you know.
Okay.
I will let you know, and I think that is it. I think for the time being, we just need to wait till this guy reverts back to us.
Okay.
And then we'll take a call, know what to do next, and yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Take care. Talk to you later,
Okay. You too. Bye. So, I said when we spoke to this HR person,
so this is a new phone call.
Yeah.
Now he said that that she did inform him that she's going out of town or whatever, and but there is no formal resignation or anything. No, she has to come out formally resign.
Correct. I mean, there's a procedure to do things, no? Otherwise, people become worried.
Exactly.
People become concerned.
Correct. Now, I mean, that is. It's beginning to concern me a little bit, but Peter also says that I think we should wait for 3-4 days. But anyway, we have not waited. We have already, we've already kind of got the ball rolling.
And also, if you think about it, look, she's been working somewhere for the last few years, right? And she's been in a relationship for the last few years. Now, suddenly, she's gone off with some guy, left her job, and also her relationship, but left her job and not told anybody, unreachable. Her friends don't know. A person she's been living with for 3 years don't know. Her work people don't know. Obviously, there's going to be a huge amount of concern from everybody.
Nobody knows. No, that is a concern. Exactly. I know what you're saying, Rahul. I'm also, my only reason of beginning to get a bit concerned is, but now that you've told me that, when Peter was saying that, he didn't get a chance to tell me in detail that friends have been trying to contact her on Facebook and she's not responded. So either she's consciously not responded is one possibility. Okay, that possibility is there. That she's not. Yeah, that is possible because who are the people we are going to ask? We are going to ask our friends only, no?
Yeah.
that she knows. So that possibility is there. So I don't want to rule out that possibility, but at least if we know that, she's kind of wherever she is, then she doesn't need to. And the thing is, she's not in touch with anybody at home. You know that. So that is a bigger. So there is no way of, kind of the only person she's right now at this point. She's only in touch with me, and she's with you as a family thing. She's not in touch with anybody else. So now, what does one kind of,
Well, we have to kind of find her somehow, bring her back, and do things properly. The only way in which it can be done.
Exactly. Or even if she doesn't want to come, that is all right. Nobody should probably, that is her fear also. I'm just thinking, okay, what she expressed to me. But if she doesn't want to come, whatever, at least she needs to be in touch with someone to say that I'm okay and that's it. That I don't want to see Rahul's face again. That is all, we want. I don't want to come back to Bombay. I want to live.
Yeah, that's worth a pause.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't want to. She should come and tell you that she doesn't want to see your face. Okay. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, that is just.
Yep. Let's see what else she comes up with.
Yeah.
Live in Nagpur. I want to stay wherever. That's all right, no?
Yeah, but it has to come from her, no?
That is what I'm saying, that she needs to, whoever it is, whether she wants to contact any of her friends, whatever, that she can do, or she wants to contact me, she wants to contact, So,
anyone but him.
Is she gonna like list everybody? Like, it sounded like she was gonna launch into the list of people that she
but anyone but
contact.
him. Yeah.
Anyone but him.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
One thing, now we have already got the ball rolling. We want to just check. There's nothing more to do at this point. Okay, we have now approached the highest possible person, that is available here. And we have to give him a little bit of time to, we've just registered this thing just now. Okay, we've informed just now. When we spoke to you, post that, we have to give a little bit of time to, get the things, where, what.
She's talking about the CBI guy here, right?
I think so. I think she's talking about the inquiry they're doing with Devi and Bharti.
That they had asked him to look into the matter and just trace her phone.
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't know how much time.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, I don't know how much time has passed between these two calls, because she said that on the previous call. There seems to be a new call. And she's still saying we just now made the inquiry. So I don't know if that's a figure of speech, saying that we recently did it. Or she means like now.
No. I think she's, saying just recently we made the inquiry, and,
Okay.
It was interesting how she said that Peter, thought it was best to wait 3 or 4 days, but that she's the one who actually wants to push it ahead.
Yep.
I mean, that was the implication, right?
Yeah.
So I think she's talking about the CBI guy.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you want to say something about Rahul?
I was just going to say that doesn't matter what Rahul wants to do. It's like just those two. Like, he's completely disregarded whether somebody Sheena wants to get in touch with, whether as somebody who's interested and wants to take action about finding her. On every count, their relationship, he's completely disregarded. She only is talking about everybody else.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Always starts with her friends.
Yeah.
And even Mr. Mukerjea.
Yeah.
Mr. Mukerjea gets his rank above Rahul.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
And then based on that, we can take a call. What they have to say, what is their advice. There is this thing also, because his first reaction, was that if she's informed, why, what is this thing? I said, no, only because she's not been in touch with anybody in the last, 3 days or whatever. So he said, all right, let me try and find the location, where she will be. Because apparently, now I don't know what this thing is. Apparently, even if she puts a different SIM in her phone, they can locate.
Yeah.
So which... Sorry?
I said it's done from the phone as well as the SIM. Every phone has also an identification number which you can track.
Yeah. So he said that let me, at least then I will still, get a sense of, what this thing is. I'll get to know where the phone is. Then we know that she's in that location. So at least the location gets identified. If one has to look for her also, one has to know where she is. No,
So, it just occurred to me that, one of the things we were discussing is that was she putting words into Mr. Mukerjea's mouth.
Yes.
And, my mind wandered to, how Rahul is like, I want to speak to her directly. Like, I don't
Yes.
want some third party in between.
Mm-hmm.
So I started imagining who actually made the call to this gentleman from the
Mr.
CBI.
Mukerjea.
And no,
Oh.
not Mr. Mukerjea,
Okay.
Mr. Bharti. Mr. Bharti.
Uh-huh.
It's like that in itself, if we follow Rahul's example of, wanting, direct contact, and we think about him listening to this information,
Mm-hmm.
so you're like starting to imagine the world as Rahul is imagining it right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put sort of his ears on,
Yeah.
you're thinking what? You're thinking, okay, did my father call the guy? Did she call the guy? Were they in the same room when the phone conversation happened? Who did the talking? And worst
Mm-hmm.
case scenario, did anyone really call?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That's
You know,
exactly
it,
what I was thinking. Sorry,
yeah.
go on.
No, let's go ahead.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, she is trying to convince him with evidence that the phone can be located, but he's like, that can mean anything. I want to speak to her and make sure she's okay. I don't know if you guys are even speaking to the people that you say that you're speaking to, but
Mhm.
that doesn't matter because I just want to make sure that she is okay. The email can come from anybody, phone can be with anybody else. Like, that doesn't mean that she's okay.
Well, doesn't it remind you of the Daybell trial just a little bit? When the point was made that the phone and the people don't have to be with the phone and anybody could
Yes.
have the phone. And
Yes.
even if a phone is in a location, the person may not be with the phone in the same location. So
Yeah.
I think Rahul is pretty on top of that and has
Yes.
thought about that clearly because his language is such that he's like, well, there's a serial number and they can track that. So it's like
Mhm.
to me, that's like an indication of someone who's already on that in their mind somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's just speculation. But
No, it makes
he came
sense.
up with that really fast. So
Yeah.
I don't think that normally we think about the what is it, IMEI number or the IMIE number, whatever it is.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It doesn't like immediately spring to mind.
No.
You more think, okay, the device has GPS or whatever,
Yes.
et
Location
cetera, et cetera, et
services.
cetera. But he
Yeah.
seems to have thought about it in some detail because most people would not think of that specifically, in my
Right.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he sounds like he's looked it up. Like, he's done some
It
research.
seems like he's asked someone for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Like if
Yeah.
he was unclear, he got clear.
Yes.
That is if he was unclear. Like maybe he
Hmm.
happened to know that information,
Yeah.
but it does sound a little specific
Yeah.
and
He's
technical.
informed.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay.
she might be in Bombay, she might be in Nagpur. We don't know where she is.
We need to know where she is. We need to know she's okay. We need to speak to her. We need to hear from her. She needs to do the correct thing with her work also.
Correct.
So
I mean,
I can't believe that Sheena's gone and done this without in this manner. It's so unlike her.
No.
You know what? I don't know that we talked about this, but it just dawned on me.
Mm-hmm.
Of all places, like if we're looking at
Yeah.
at least one guilty person,
Mm-hmm.
if not two, why Nagpur?
Yeah.
Like what is it? What is helpful. If you're
Yeah.
trying to hide truth, it is a little outrageous that you would choose a Bentley in Nagpur. We discussed that last time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of Bentleys in Nagpur, if any.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would be the advantage? I was trying, I'm just trying to think, why would that be advantageous? Why
Yeah.
set the scene or the distraction to Nagpur? It's very confusing to me, or interesting. I can't come up with immediate answer, but it is kind of interesting. So is it because there was some foundation laid? Because, the thing was that, according to Rahul, Sheena had told him that Indrani wanted to look at property there, correct?
Yes. Yep. And she
So is
wanted to
it that
take Sheena
right,
with her.
right. She wanted to take Sheena. So, but wouldn't you, I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. I haven't thought about this. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
trying to throw this out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she was also told not to tell Rahul about this whole thing, right?
I don't remember that, but I'm sure you're
Yes.
right.
Yeah. And one of the previous calls, he had mentioned something like that.
Oh, yeah. Like she's trying to say that basically I'm
Right.
gonna run away from him, sort of that vibe where it's like, don't tell him, this is my way to get away from him, but also I'll see property with you.
Well, no, Sheena had told Rahul that Andrani wants me to go there, but I don't want to go.
Right.
And she also
And I
told
want
me
to go
not to
with
tell
you.
you.
Oh, I thought that
And
came from Indrani.
no, Indrani said, apparently, according to Rahul, Sheena had told him that Indrani had asked her to go there, and Sheena was telling Rahul, she also told me not to tell you, and I don't want to go. So the question that I have, and maybe I missed it, but I suddenly am thinking, like, why is she choose? So she said, Indrani had said, no, I told her Goa. Why would I be looking at property in Nagpur? Like, what am I going to do in Nagpur, right?
Yeah.
But then she chooses this to be the landscape of the runaway. So see, so let's say
Yes.
she didn't know that Sheena had told Rahul, right? Now it's one of two ways. She expected Sheena to betray her and tell Rahul, or she didn't anticipate that.
Yeah.
Right? So now is this a problem of, like, if there is something untoward happening here and there is a cover up happening, why continue with the Nagpur narrative? Because the Bentley and the Nagpur thing, it's no offense to anyone here, just saying, they're, it's
Easy
not
to locate.
it's too, like he says, it's like, well, how many Bentleys can there be in Nagpur? So it's like, why run with a story that is something that could actually be something that Rahul could follow up on?
Yeah.
Like, it's not an impossible, like,
You can
so
verify it
this,
easily.
for a lot of people in a lot of places, there would be not a full understanding of how this doesn't make sense, but if you're in India and you're talking about Nagpur and a Bentley, everybody around town would be, oh, did you see the Bentley? Did you see? All you have to do is walk up to, a handful of people and just keep asking until you hit someone who's seen it. Somebody will have,
Yes. They'll be on the
So
lookout.
I'm trying to understand why she was married to this story. Like, it's to me, it's a clue.
Yeah.
It may not be like a smoking gun kind of clue, but it is curious.
Right.
Why continue with that when he can follow up on that? So what's in Nagpur? Why ask
I,
to come there
yeah.
in the first place?
Yeah. I actually was I mean, as always, you're reading my mind. I was actually like thinking about that when she said Nagpur this time. I thought, like, I had two thoughts. One was that you have at least whole of India available to you because,
Right.
like, you're not
Could be
sure where
anywhere.
Sheena's. Yeah, you don't know where Sheena's passport is, or whatever it is. If she can fly internationally without the passport, like whatever she's done. But let's say at least you have the whole country available to you. Why would you place her so close to Bombay, where Rahul can easily travel and find her? It's a small city. But then I was also thinking that if she thinks, I'm trying to be objective, but if Indrani thinks that this guy who she's claiming Sheena has run away with uh, is somebody she can frame. So that might come up later in the calls when they start to talk about this Nagpur fellow. But I thought
Mhm.
maybe this is a way that she might try to frame this guy. Or it could be what I didn't entertain before, which is what you mentioned, that she's been tied down to Nagpur for
Yeah.
something because of something that Rahul has said. That she didn't anticipate that Sheena would actually tell Rahul that Indrani told me this, but she told me not to tell you. And then Rahul brought it up, and now Indrani is tied to that.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
really
because
interesting.
see, I hate to say this, but I can't quite remember who brought up Nagpur first. So that's something that sadly
Yeah.
I cannot remember. Um,
In the calls, it
forgive
was
us.
Indrani.
It was Andrani who brought it up first.
Yeah, because she brought it up in the context
That's
of the
what I
Bentley.
thought.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
on the
So having
calls.
brought it up, she was stuck with it.
Unless
Hmm.
Rahul brought it up between Tuesday and Saturday in the interim, like before these calls were recorded.
Possible. We can't eliminate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't eliminate that there was some
Don't know.
kind of background here, but it's still interesting
Very.
that
Yeah, because she could have
Nagpur
turned.
was the scene of her runaway.
Yeah.
So that says to me that if you are planning, if you have planned something, there is
Hmm.
something that is ready to go related to Nagpur, right?
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, she could
It's
have said
very
her
strange,
hometown, Guwahati, which is much further
right?
away.
Or why wouldn't you just choose a like Delhi where you can't easily track this and there are some Bentleys, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't like there's millions of people in Delhi. Like it would be an insurmountable, you
Yeah.
know, obstacle. So it's so strange to me. And I hope that we figure it out because it just it
Mm,
but we may not be able to because like you say it could be in the interim calls or communication that is not on any of the recordings. But I do think it's
yeah.
worth bringing up. Like this is interesting. This is
Yeah.
interesting. I would have definitely put her in Delhi or someplace like that where it is
Hmm.
possible for a person
Yeah.
to kind of disappear. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Say that
just felt
she
like it
crossed the,
had what?
or just say that she crossed the border on foot. Like you can come up with any absurd story that makes it hard for Rahul to find her. But this is so verifiable that it
Yeah,
defies
so I don't
logic.
get that. So, I
Yeah.
don't get that. So, I don't know where this came from. But the fact that since she denied that she wanted any real estate or proper, like she wasn't planning on seeking any property
Yeah.
there. She doesn't say
Hmm.
anything more than, "Oh, why would I go to Nagpur? Like, who wants
Yeah.
to, buy
Yeah.
property?" She doesn't say anything beyond that.
She
So it's
might.
like well, she might in the calls coming ahead, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let me just say this: that Sheena is now of these people,
Hmm.
Rahul is going to be listening to his, fiance, right?
Yeah.
And she's saying she's brought it up. And his point was, if you recall, something like, why would she tell me about it? Like,
Right.
why not? So there is something here that is worth looking into, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. That's a good catch.
Should we go forward?
Yes, we
Let's
have
get
to.
past Nagpur, at least for the moment. Okay, here
Yeah.
we go.
So neither do I, honestly, Rahul. I
Honestly, Rahul, I couldn't resist. Yeah. If a person has to keep saying honestly,
Yeah. I
things that make you
testify.
go,
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Honestly, in between you and me, Peter must
She
have
did it
found it
again.
very, very odd when she contacted me. I'll tell you that. Okay. And Peter has been, of course, while he's in Chile, he's been, he's not been a party to the conversations, but he's been hearing the conversations that's been going on. And which, in our scheme of things, so for me, it was more of that, look, if she wants to move on and, whatever, where she's happy, whatever, it's fine. From Peter's scheme of things, he always felt that, listen, she's not coming out with the full truth. So, she's, I hope it's just not another this thing to take money, whatever, and which exactly, what it was. I mean, it's turned out to be that now. Because post, the moment she took the money, after that, she's not, contacted me at all. The moment she took the money, that was...
That seems to be the least convincing argument
Yeah.
to Rahul, right? He's like,
Yeah.
she's working, she's got money. Nagpur's not,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the Bentley guy has money. Why
the
would
Bentley
she?
guy has money. I mean,
Yeah.
he's apparently sweeping her off her feet so that she leaves her
Right.
job and everything
Yeah.
else. So what?
Yes.
The drum beat about the money. Yeah, I mean, I think we all get it. It's a character assassination,
Yeah.
lowering her by constantly bringing this topic up, but it's not. I don't think it's moving Rahul. Do you?
No. I was
I think if
actually
anything,
hoping.
it's making more suspicious, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I started listening to these calls right now, I was like, we should have had a BS meter of some sort and play that every time.
Are you calling BS? Are you?
Big
Did the
time.
meter just go off?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's ask Oscar. I think
bark.
Oscar even Oscar picked that one up.
Poor thing has to
Or-
listen to this.
Yeah, poor thing. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
was it.
Well, we have to wait and see what these what your
Yeah. I think let's think that is a better thing to do. Let's kind of, we have put in this thing now, right now. I mean, there is nothing physically you and anybody can do at this point. Okay, so I mean, we have informed the cops now.
You could go out and look for her.
Yeah. The first thing you would do.
I'm sure that's the first thing you thought too. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There are some physical things we can do.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay. Now there's not
But
anything
no.
physically we can do. Okay.
Nothing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Don't
that.
do anything. Yeah.
Don't do anything. Do
Yeah.
not do a thing.
Don't know it. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Let them start the process, which I'm sure they have, and then we know next steps.
Yeah, correct.
What to do. They will tell us what to do. They will tell us that, look, this is what we need to do. We need to file a, listing complaint, whatever.
I mean, it's possible that she's being held against her will by somebody in Nagpur. We don't know,
Correct.
God forbid,
Quite
but
possible. I
who
know.
knows?
Yeah.
And that's
One second, somebody's
very
calling.
concerning.
Then let me call you. Her boss is calling me. Let me call you back.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Enter Mr. Mukerjea.
Yeah. She
Okay,
got off
next
the call.
call.
Quickly.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, it's ringing. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Hi.
Or it's like, I can't handle this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to.
Right, I need
I'm
to
gonna go.
end this. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to end this. Although you could hear the, call coming in, but who knows if it was Mr. Mukerjea? I mean, it could have been anyone.
How do you hear that? I can never hear it.
Yeah, it does. It clicked.
Oh.
It did like
That's funny.
a blank sound.
Oh.
I don't. You'll hear it.
Okay.
Hang tight. There'll be another one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Where are you?
I'm here and near home. What's happened? What's the latest?
No, I would. No, I get. Are you being straight with me on everything?
Fully.
Huh?
Fully. Like what?
No, like Indrani was talking to Mr. Mukerjea just now. Again, second time, right? First time I told you about the first conversation. Then we called him again just now.
Yeah.
And I was overhearing the conversation. And he told me that, not me, he told Indrani that, that Rahul was there in the office.
Just now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
just now. It was just now.
At some point.
No, just now. Just when Indrani was talking to him the first time.
Yes, when Indrani was talking to him the first time.
We were sitting in the office waiting for him.
You were sitting in the office waiting for him.
Yeah, we had just.
Why didn't you tell me that?
Well,
why didn't you tell me that?
When have I spoken to you?
No, why didn't you tell me that? When I asked you, have you got Sheena's office number? Do you have a name of somebody I can call?
After, when I said, Papa, listen, when I said, can I call you back? And then I did, I said, let me call you back, and I didn't call for some time.
Yeah.
That was the last you spoke to me just recently. I said, let me call you back because there was a call on my phone, right? It was the people from Reliance. It was the people who had come home, right?
Yeah.
And the woman who was there, she said, Rahul, can you come into the office just now? Right. So I said, fine, all right, I'll come in straight away. Then I was there, and by the time I was there, Indrani apparently was probably already talking to this one, Shubhodoy, Mr. Mukerjea.
Right.
And so I haven't spoken to you till now since then.
But you should have told me that I'm on my way to the office. They've called me. No, you should have told me that you were on your way to the office, and that you are sitting there waiting for Mr. Mukerjea.
What difference does it make?
I think it makes a difference because I'm working on the assumption that you said I have no idea who to call. I have no number for you to call, no name of any person to call, right? When I spoke to you, you said I don't have any numbers, right?
Yeah.
Then he found out from her office people who's this person and who's the people in HR in Reliance, and got his name and his number, etc. Then called him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And at that time, whilst he was talking to you, talking to Indrani, you were outside his office.
Yeah, I was just reaching there. They had phoned me up after. That's why I hung up with you, because there was another call coming through. It was the same people that came.
So you spoke to some other? Did you get a conversation with any of the other staff people in the office?
Well, no, I spoke to the boss guy who was sitting there, Mr. Mukerjea.
Boss guy. What's his name?
Mr. Mukerjea, and the girl who came to the house to sort of see where Sheena was in the first instance. I don't know what her name was.
What do you think about this?
Sounds
Quite
so
interesting.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you go.
No, go. Oh, go.
Why would Peter be so pissed that Rahul hasn't told him who to contact? That's just such red flags for me. Wouldn't you want, sure, you want to be in the loop, but you don't want to get so upset that you weren't in the loop about something. If the goal is to find Sheena, then it doesn't matter what you know or don't know. Sure, everybody wants to be on the same page so that they have all the information, and everyone can do their own work in finding Sheena. But why would he's so upset that Rahul didn't tell him?
Well, he feels tricked, which is interesting in of itself.
Yeah.
I think this is a real father-son moment here. It's very interesting from both sides, because from Rahul's side, it's clear sign now, like there can be no doubt he has no trust. I mean, if there's one thing that marks this moment, is that now we know for sure that he does not trust this situation. You could say these people. You could say that his father, while he may trust him, I mean, who could blame him in that every time he tries to talk to his father, whatever we've seen so far, it includes Indrani. So it's like, okay, we don't know whether is he distrusting his father, or is he just worried that his father is an agent of Indrani.
Yeah.
So there's that way.
Yeah.
From Peter's side, it's a kind of loss of faith. I don't know if his anger relates to losing face in front of Mr. Mukerjea. It could be that, here we are, we're in this family drama and we're trying to sort this out, and it has nothing to do with this man. And this is kind of humiliating. It's like his own son is not telling him critical information. So, you can imagine him at work. Like, I kind of immediately go, okay, it's like an underling who is not following orders. I don't know if that's how it is, but it's like, okay, is this more sinister? Is there something more sinister this moment, or is this just about losing faith? Like, I have family pride, and you're sneaking around and I'm presenting your problem, because obviously Peter feels like, I mean, let's face it, he comes across like, hey, listen, boy, she's run out on you. Like, grow, hate to say
Deal
this,
with
but
it.
I don't even want to say what I was going to say. Grow up and, grow some hair on your chest and realize the situation you're in. I'm not interested in a girl running away. I mean, let her run off.
Right.
Like, have some pride. I don't know if it's coming from there,
Like I'm doing you a
or
favor and you're not even
like, I
telling
don't
me
even want to
anything.
I don't care about this. I mean, it's almost
Right.
like I care about it, but she ran off on you. Like, if he
Yeah.
really believes that at this moment, that she's run off with another man, it's like, get a clue. Here I'm doing something I don't really want to do. I think she's run off with another man. But still, because you're my son, I'm doing all this. And then I find
Yeah.
out you've done all this behind my back. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell, right? Like, we're still early in the calls, really. But, it could be that, or it's very sinister. Like, we are the fountain of information.
Yeah.
You take the path we are recommending and guiding you toward. Don't get any initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not
want to
clear,
keep
is it? Like, you could look at it from different
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah. The sinister. That I think had he just stopped at what happened with Mr. Mukherjee, that would
Mhm.
have made I could have given him the benefit of the doubt, but he's so interested in getting this other girl's number. Part of me thinks that he's trying to speak to everybody and give, in Indrani's words, background and maybe
Right.
influence the story. I'm just going to the sinister theory.
Oh, yeah, go
Like,
ahead,
that's where my mind is going.
Go
So
ahead.
I'm just like,
We'll
he's just
we'll
trying to
play it back and forth.
yeah, okay. So he's the sinister aspect is that he's just trying to make sure that whoever Rahul potentially can get in touch with, he can get to them before and influence their narrative so that
Right.
he can just basically do his CYA.
Right. I have spoken to everyone. This is what everyone has said, and now
Right.
that's that.
Yeah. You don't speak to
Everybody,
them now.
yeah, you don't speak to them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Access to information,
Mhm.
that's that's like a cult. There are a few people who know, and everybody else is not knowing. Or
Yeah.
not just a cult, many scenarios, but I'm just saying it's like the
Right.
control on the information is key.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, it could be that, like, it is very an interesting reaction.
Yeah.
And, you kind of wonder, like, where's, like, so we heard Indrani in the background.
Mhm.
And so you really wonder, has she turned to Peter and said, now look at your son. We're doing all this.
Mm.
And look what he's done. He is not trustworthy. I mean, it's point one
Totally
Indrani, right?
Yeah. I can see
Like,
that.
now I'm going to seize this moment and say, see how your son is.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Go
We're
ahead
running
with him.
around doing all this.
Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can, Peter. And look what happens. This is your son.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we don't know, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
fairly Interesting.
Very.
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You should see, I'm calling you as soon as things are evolving. Right? I'm calling you as things are evolving, as we speak to Mukerjea, as we speak to Bhatti, and so on. Right? And now second call to Mukerjea.
How come there's more and more info that keeps coming from Indrani? And now there's this Bentley and there's this.
On what? More and more info coming from Indrani.
No, in the conversation she just told me, we just had.
Yes.
Then now she's just sort of telling me more than what she knew before, or than what apparently you didn't know before. Dropped her at my son's and that was it. And now she's in a Bentley and gone to Nagpur and all of this.
Listen, we have just spoken to Mukerjea and to the police guy.
Yeah.
And second conversation with Mukerjea.
Let's just blank that question.
Yeah.
And just give the narrative.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hear that. Let's just let's do the information dissemination.
Yeah.
We'll just ride right over that. I gotta say this to you, and I don't know. Don't you see this as a father and son in crisis though? Like, it's so sad. I actually think these two people love each other and are fond of each other. And it just is, I'm going to say, everything aside, whether he's culpable, Peter culpable or not, or whatever the scenario is, it's seriously sad to see this crumbling, to just listen to it all crumbling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because if he is, and he would basically have to be, I think, as we go further, almost deaf, dumb, and blind. I'm talking about Peter. This is a real sad moment in this relationship.
Yeah.
If he's actually a father who is trying to do his best to manage the new wife, the new love in his life, and his son, it's kind of a heartbreaking moment. Just saying.
Yeah, I think his choice is pretty clear. That it's with his wife, not his son. And also
yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say that it's like he can't have a relationship just with his father. Indrani keeps butting in. So I think I'm guessing that even with trivial matters that Rahul just wants to speak to his father, he can't because she's always there. So even like his interactions with Peter, he's more engaged. But with Indrani, it's like, okay, to me, it sounds like just get off the phone. Like, I know you're going to keep droning on about whatever you want to say, but just get off the phone. Get off the phone.
Well, this is a son who really wants to have his father in his life. That is for sure. I think he might go up and down about that at times when things fall out or he gets fed up but it's exactly, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you that he is struggling with this couple-dom.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Peter definitely comes across as, there's, I think you would agree that there's some layers here. One, it seems like he's fairly traditional, that, now this is his wife and he has made his choice and that's that, and everyone else has to line up. But it's also like, I mean, not to be base, but, Indrani is quite a bit younger than he is. And this is, in his mind, a catch, right? This is a chance of a second, life. Like maybe the life he couldn't have, and I mean no disrespect by this, but maybe a different kind of life, maybe a life that he didn't get to have in his first marriage, So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be heartbreaking for both of them. The only one who doesn't seem to be heartbroken is, I hand it over to you,
Indrani.
she's kind of gaining all the benefits. So Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's yeah. All right, let's see how this goes.
And to the police guy.
Yeah.
And second conversation with Mukherjee again, right? At which point he disclosed that Rahul was here in the office at that time when he was speaking to you, right?
Yep.
So he told Indrani that, and and he asked, "Has the boy told you that?" Right? So look, if we're going to find the source of this, we have to level to the extent that this is. Now, when I was lying down here in Goa and I'm sitting talking to Indrani, I said, I was looking through my phone book and we were saying, has she got any other numbers? She said, maybe she's got other numbers she's using, etc. I looked through my phone book. There's two numbers that I had. One, I called one number. Some guy picked up the phone. Hello, kaun hai? I said, kaun bol rahe hain? He said, kisko chahiye? So I said, nahi, ठीक है, गलत number.
You want to translate that?
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but you do it better.
He said, hello, who's speaking? Who do you want to speak to? And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Basically, just an unknown person.
Number. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the lazy boy approach, by the way. Just sit back, just go through your phone book.
Yeah.
See.
I mean, there's got to be something in this phone that will link me to where this girl is.
Yeah. Sitting
I
lying
thought they
down.
had done everything and called everyone.
Right.
Wasn't that the story? Yeah. I was lying on the sofa. I mean, the way he paints that, I mean, when he says that, I have to tell you that I'm like thinking he's lying on the sofa. I mean, you get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah,
Playing Candy
who do
Crush.
I know? Maybe I'll order a pizza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, let's get some takeout while we're going through our phones. I mean, he makes it sound so relaxed. Like, I was just lying on the sofa going, who do I know?
Yeah.
What numbers are there?
What numbers?
No urgency.
Nothing.
No urgency. Crazy. Okay. Hang on. Are you ready to keep going?
Yes.
Do you have what it takes?
I don't know, but I'm going to try.
We have to do it for Rahul.
Yes.
He showed us the way. All right, here we go.
I put it off. The earlier number which I had, which is a 9833 number, that the message came back that this number is now not functioning or something. Right? Okay. So then I told him, this number is a funny number. I had this number in my phone. I don't know for how long. So we called you and said, do you recognize this number? Do you know who this number is?
I don't. I've never seen that number. The first half of it I know, but...
No, fair enough. So that's the number that I have always had. Until the message I got from Sheena, which was that number that you also have now, which is at 98 something number, 900 number, right? So,
communicated with you from that number. I want to know. Yeah.
I don't remember where the communication Sheena has been.
Has Sheena communicated with me?
How do I know? I don't know. It must be some years ago.
The Reliance number. Yeah.
Which? What?
Right? No, I'm joking.
That's truly confusing there. What just happened there?
I don't even know what to make of it.
I mean, notice how Indrani jumped in like there?
Yeah, she's been doing that. Yeah.
She has been doing that, but it I don't know if that was a slip up. I don't know. Anyway, okay. I don't have any answers, so that's all I can say. That was weird. I think that was weird. I'm not really sure what happened there, and I don't think Rahul's very sure what just happened there. Here we go.
Can you play that again? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we can do it.
Which? What?
No, I'm talking to. You're a speakerphone, okay?
Okay.
I'm talking to so that I don't have to be.
Should I go back further?
I don't have to repeat.
No, it's fine.
In the repeating process, I forget some detail or miss out some detail, and it becomes difficult. So,
I miss out some detail.
Yeah.
And it becomes difficult.
Yeah. Revelatory. But he should say everything. Remember to say everything. He can miss out he can't miss out details, but he might. But Rahul must say everything to them. He can't forget anything.
No, you can't forget anything.
Yeah,
you should include it all.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just really interesting. I don't know that that may be potentially revealing.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't miss any detail. I mean, if there is a story and a cover up, he shouldn't miss any detail. So if you take the sinister view again, you go,
It will
okay,
become difficult.
shouldn't miss a detail.
Yeah.
Gotta get all these things out there. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm calling you to say, listen, if you are in the Reliance office, you should say, listen, I'm at the Reliance office now, I'll call you back. I'm talking to these guys, I'm trying to figure out also, they've asked me to come in, I'm talking to them here. So
that Reliance are calling me again, so should I
calling you again now?
Yeah, should I take it and then speak to you again?
You take the call and then you call me back after they've spoken to you and you tell me what they've said, because we need to be on the same page. We're going to do this sincerely. You understand?
Yeah.
So you call me after you take the call and you call me after that.
Okay, all right.
I'll call you back.
All right, okay.
Bye.
My God.
I'm wondering what's so important about these details that they need to be on the same page about them. Like, what is so critical here? I'm missing the import. Like, it's Sheena's boss. Everybody's spoken to him. I mean, Rahul had visitation at home. He spoke to the people. He got whatever information he got. I mean, everybody has the same page information at that moment anyway, right? That Sheena called, asked for a day off. That was one point, right?
Yep.
And that she said that she was traveling, right?
Yeah.
That there was a discussion about when she might have requested for the time off, right? They all understand for sure that there's a resignation which is required. I mean,
If she has resigned.
right, if she has resigned. And so I'm wondering what they're not on the same page about.
Well, I find it so interesting that Peter uses these words, if we have to do this sincerely. What does that even mean? What, like you said, what other details do you need? Like, do you need every minuscule detail? You want to track every single thing? Because if you don't get that, you're not going to do it sincerely. This is not a school assignment. This is about finding your daughter or stepdaughter or sister or sister-in-law, whatever it is. It's like finding your family member, not doing it sincerely because you
Yeah,
haven't
what
exchanged details.
exactly, and how does that, if you're like, what is insincere?
Yeah.
Like, is there even a question that there would be a sincere effort on Rahul's part?
Right.
So who's insincere? If
Yeah.
we're going to do this sincerely, which I mean, obviously a turn of phrase. If we're going to do this, it's a very weird addition.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like one of those phrases that Peter uses often, how people have little, idiosyncratic expressions that are unique to them.
Yes.
Is this that? Because it's a very odd thing to put to somebody who's looking for their fiance who happens to be your son. Like,
yeah.
If we're going to do this sincerely, is that his beef with Rahul in general, that he doesn't do things sincerely? Is this like a message of father to son that, when are you going to get sincere and about what? Is it like that? I mean, is this just a corporate guy who's used to talking to people in such a manner, and that Rahul has to suffer, business speak all the time? Like he's, a junior, or, it's so weird.
So weird.
And I don't understand, what is it that they're not on the same page about? And I think we can both deduce that it means if you're going to do things on your own, we need to know about those things.
Because if we don't have the details, it'll become difficult for us.
Right. So it's like, what, you're going to repeat efforts? like you might be repeating what you're being deficient, or I mean, there's only a few ways to take that.
Yeah.
And really, truly, none of them are good.
Yeah.
To suggest that there's something wrong in what Rahul did is left of the mark.
Shouldn't it instead be, you should be sincere by doing your best with these people from her workplace? Be sincere in those efforts to find Sheena, which is apparently everybody's common goal, not sincere in recounting all the details back to me, every minuscule thing.
Absolutely.
I would expect that kind of insincerity or sincerity, that you make sure that you put all your efforts in.
I mean, here's something too, like, you know, going off of that thought, you know, think about this. We've got a CEO guy, you know, what is really shocking is that, I mean, beyond all the obvious things, is like, okay, you don't want to repeat efforts. Okay, fine. Let's all divide up the tasks. Okay, you contact Reliance. You go to the police station. You go to Nagpur, or whatever the list is. You know, and he's refusing to captain this ship, but you should report to me.
Right.
It's
and
just,
don't do anything without telling me. Like, you can't do anything without telling me.
Right. Don't step out of line.
Yeah.
That's basically all that's, you know, you're stepping out of line. Yeah. Did we clear you to go? Why are you not telling us? So we could dissuade you? Yeah, I mean, very, very suspicious.
So, tell me. That was the girl from Reliance. She just said that Indrani's spoken to Mr. Mukerjea again.
Yes.
And he mentioned that you were here, and I'm just letting you know that we'll also keep you informed of any more developments, as and when anything turns up.
Yeah.
And so.
No, so I think, you know, this Reliance is looking out for where Sheena is, trying to kind of put things together, trying to patch things together, trying to figure out, listen, Indrani has told the police guy that, you know, this is Rahul's number, this is Sheena's number. You take the call, and then you call me back after they've spoken to you, and you tell me what they've said, because, you know, we need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
If we're going to do this sincerely. You understand?
Yeah.
Something happened. I think it jumped.
So you call me after you take the call, and I'll call you. Call me after that.
I think what happened is
Bye.
that he just got a call.
So
yeah,
it went back.
That
right.
Was, that was
That's
the girl
all right.
from Reliance. She just said that Indrani's spoken to Mr. Mukerjea again.
Yes.
And he mentioned that you were here, and I'm just letting you know that we'll also keep you informed of any more developments, as and when anything turns up.
Yeah.
And so.
No, so I think, you know, this Reliance is looking out for where Sheena is, trying to kind of put things together, trying to patch things together, trying to figure out, listen, Indrani has told the police guy that, you know, this is Rahul's number, this is Sheena's number. He'll be doing this thing, you know, a back check on calls, received calls, made messages, received messages, sent, blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
You know, we are all on the same page here.
I really hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, please believe so.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling you every 2 minutes to say, listen, this is the conversation we've had. This is the detail of that conversation. This is what it is. You know, we have to. Otherwise, if you hold back stuff for whatever reason, please don't.
Well, I haven't.
No, don't do that, because it will only work against you. It will work in the thing.
Why am I being pinpointed in for something again? I haven't done anything. I haven't withheld anything from anyone. All I'm trying to do is find my bloody fiance, who someone's picked up and moved. God knows where and God knows what situation she's in.
Well,
you're picking on me for not, telling you that I was sitting talking to a bloody boss. Where is she?
Where is she? You tell me.
You tell me, man. Indrani now knows she went off with somebody in a Bentley into Nagpur. Sheena told me when I met her that Indrani had asked her to go to Nagpur with her, just the two of them, right, to have a look at properties. Now Sheena said, I don't really want to go with Indrani because I'll feel awkward. Actually, I'd rather go with you, Rahul. So if it actually turns out to be true, then you take me and we'll go together.
No, fine.
So now see. Nagpur has come up. Nagpur has come up in two different things. From two different angles.
Yes.
Somebody knows something about Sheena in Nagpur. Okay.
Sorry, say it again.
I said somebody knows something about Sheena being in Nagpur, and you better bring her back.
Listen, somebody knows something about Sheena talking about Nagpur.
Being in Nagpur.
Or being in Nagpur or going to Nagpur or whatever, she is saying to you that Indrani had said to her, let's go see some property together. Okay? In Nagpur. Right? That is, and what I've heard in the conversation that Indrani had with Sheena, right, which is to say that, you know, then you come to Goa and we'll see the property in Goa. Okay, Nagpur came as a site, right, which said, listen, I've met some guy with Bentley, this, that, and who owns a Bentley and this and that. He lives in Bombay, but he's got some set up in Nagpur. Come and meet his parents or whatever. And Indrani shared that with me. I told her, I said, we don't do anything of the sort. There's no need for you to go to Nagpur and meet anybody's parents or anybody of that sort until she has.
Did he just say meet people's parents?
Yeah.
Why do you sound so depressed? Boy, that was like a really depressing, yeah. Okay.
I was
Well,
still thinking about.
what? Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just thinking about Rahul's reaction, the
Mhm.
outburst, and
Mhm.
Peter's response,
Right.
and then all of this. It is depressing.
Well, that's true. I think some people might not understand like what a big thing it is to hear for Rahul, that
Mm-hmm.
they've been called to meet parents. You want
Yeah,
to talk about what that means?
sure. Bottom line, it means that you're making it official and you want to get married. So the couple, the girlfriend boyfriend, get along, and so now the parents will meet to see if the families get along and if they can give their go ahead and their blessing for the couple to marry. So it's a very,
Right.
very serious thing.
Right. Right. And so they're talking
Yeah.
about Sheena.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be pretty fast, right? So,
Yeah.
so the idea is that Sheena has quit her job,
Mm-hmm.
dumped her fiance
Mm-hmm.
for some guy that Rahul has no idea that there is
Yes.
some other guy. And
Yes.
it's already to the point where, her parents, which would be
Yeah.
Indrani and Peter, would go meet the guy's parents.
Yeah. Which is the last
Like,
step before
and-
marriage.
Right. And didn't he just accuse Rahul of withholding details?
Yeah. Yes. Saying new details himself.
Right. After
Yeah.
all that stuff about, well, I mean, that they just mentioned a Bentley and a guy,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's like, oh, what's happened? It's like minutes after the last phone call, and nobody said anything about that they know that they're invited to meet other parents.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Casually slips it in.
Yeah. But talk about at the very minimum projection.
Projection.
Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
telling us everything.
Yes.
Right.
But I think this is also why it's depressing. It's like his own son. And the relationship between Sheena and Rahul it's not even on the horizon for Peter.
No,
Like
it's
he's
like
dismissing it to
immaterial.
such an extent. Yeah, to such an extent that he has no shame in putting these details out there, whether they're true or not, but it's so insensitive. That's what always upsets me. It's like you're so callous about your own son's fiance and his relationship that you don't even care about how you say things or what you say.
Yeah. I mean,
That's upsetting.
it's also just, why wouldn't this be the first thing you say? Listen,
Yeah.
I think this is the end of the road for you and Sheena. She's with a guy in Nagpur. He's gonna, and we're supposed to meet the parents. Like,
Yeah. Move on.
that's move
Dump her and
on.
move
That
on.
would be a reason for him to move on. So why not
Yes.
just say that up front instead of
Yeah.
Mr. Mukerjea? Anyway, I don't know. I guess we're
I
gonna
also
find out
wanted
what.
to
Yeah. Go ahead.
I also wanted to ask you, what did you think of Peter's response after Rahul had that outburst and he was like, "Oh, you tell me, where is she?" Like, what did you make of what Peter was possibly feeling? Speculate.
I mean, I just feel like it's deflection. I don't think it's. I think it's just what it seems. You tell me. I mean,
think he,
I don't think he's like accusing Rahul of something
no,
untoward, but it's like, I'm not taking that one on. You tell me. It's like boxing. It's like they're in a boxing match, and it's like
mm,
he just brought up his hands and then, snuck a right hook in there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay, you want to get confrontational with me? It
right.
absolutely, what I would say is it absolutely unmoved him. It's not the content.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real for him for whatever reason. It's a very odd response, right? It's very
Yeah,
odd. So it's like, yeah,
I
you
thought he
tell
was
me.
scared. Right. I thought he was like scared because he didn't expect that and it just shook him because it's like suddenly it's
Really,
like, oh,
should we go back? Should we listen again? I think it's worth listening to.
sure, okay, sure.
Let me just back it and let's hear it again. I hope I have it far enough back. We'll figure that out.
Something about Sheena in Nagpur. Okay.
Sorry, say it again.
I said somebody knows.
I think it's further
Somebody
back.
knows something about Sheena in Nagpur, which I actually thought I appreciated that point. Somebody
Yeah.
knows something about Sheena. And then he says, bring her back, which is to say,
Yes.
he absolutely thinks that they've done something with her or arranged something
Yes.
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't do that because it will only work against you. It will work
Oh yeah.
in this thing.
Why am I being pinpointed in for something again? I haven't done anything. I haven't withheld anything from anyone. All I'm trying to do is find my bloody fiance who someone's picked up and moved. God knows where and God knows what situation she's in.
Well,
You're picking on me for not, telling you that I was sitting talking to a bloody boss. Where the hell is she?
where is she? You tell me.
You tell me, man. Indrani now knows she went off with somebody in a Bentley into Nagpur. Sheena told me when I met her that Indrani had asked her to go to Nagpur with her, just the two of them, right, to have a look at properties. Now Sheena said, I don't really want to go with Indrani because I'll feel awkward. Now, actually, I'd rather go with you, Rahul. So if it actually turns out to be true, then you take me and we'll go together.
No, fine.
So now see. Now see. Nagpur has come up. Nagpur has come up in two different things. From two different angles.
Yes.
Somebody knows something about Sheena in Nagpur. Okay.
Sorry, say it again.
I said somebody knows something about Sheena being in Nagpur, and you better bring her back.
I don't know that I'm not sure that he's scared, but that's a matter of opinion. I couldn't hear it, but I do
Okay.
think I do think he's stuck for an answer,
Yeah.
or he doesn't want to
Like
answer
caught off
that.
guard. Right.
Because the weird thing is that you tell me is a little odd considering they're trying to tell us that she's in Nagpur. Where is she? Why didn't he say she's in Nagpur? Or we think she's in Nagpur.
Yeah, that's why I feel like he's flustered. Like it was unexpected for him. So he's taken aback. And that's also
Well,
because he didn't expect that outburst from Rahul.
yeah, you didn't expect
That's
the
why I feel like,
outburst.
yeah, that's why it's like,
But
I think
okay,
he's a little scared, but yeah, maybe not.
but are you saying that you think that it's the words that he's saying that he's taken aback by, or just the confrontation, like the emotional outburst?
I think it's the emotional outburst. I think he wasn't expecting that response all of a sudden. The words, yes. Like all he can hang on to is the words so that he can have a valid response. But I think he wasn't expecting that outburst from Rahul.
I mean, I don't know why that would be.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
why would a person not expect an emotional outburst at this time?
Yeah.
And then, then suddenly he hears a fuller picture,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it's like, I mean, Rahul is clearly seeing through much of what's going on. Okay, if you know she's in Nagpur, how did she get? I mean, he's done the math. So
Right.
bring her
Yeah.
back. Bring her back. Whatever you guys are up to. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, if he hears like meet the parents, that
Mm-hmm.
would suggest that there's been a whole lot going on
Communication. Yeah.
that he does not know about, that they have been in communication with
Right. Yeah.
Sheena and the boy and the whatever,
Right.
the parents.
Yeah. They should know where she is. At least be able to tell him that.
Well, they've been acting like they don't know where she is.
Yeah,
And now
exactly.
it's like we know where she is, but we don't know where she
Right.
is.
Right. Yeah.
We know where
Yeah.
she is, but we don't know where she is. Like she could be in Nagpur anywhere. Like, but
Yeah.
that's not what Rahul is saying. He's just saying, where is she?
Yes.
Right? But so why don't
Yeah.
they say, yes, we spoke to her, she's in Nagpur? Yeah, this whole thing is sus and sketch.
So sus. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so sketch. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see where this
Okay.
goes.
Yeah.
I know we backtracked a little bit. This is an important piece here, so it's okay to
Yes.
listen to it again. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Listen, somebody knows something about Sheena talking about Nagpur.
Being in Nagpur.
Or being in Nagpur or going to Nagpur or whatever, she is saying to you that Indrani had said to her, let's go see some property together. Okay? In Nagpur. Right? That is, and what I've heard in the conversation that Indrani had with Sheena, right, which is to say that,
Something just dawned on me.
What is that?
You remember how we were talking about what's the deal with Nagpur? Why is she trying to sell this story in
Mm-hmm.
Nagpur? Why did she invite Sheena?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes when couples get married, parents buy property for them, like a home to live in. So was that the original story that was wanting to be told here? Yeah, I don't know.
Could be.
I mean, it's so convoluted, it's anyone's guess is my opinion, but yeah, it just dawned on me that maybe I don't know, we all have to think about it. But it seems like those two stories could tie together, So like we went to look for property.
You mean that's what she told Sheena? Like that was the pretext, or that was what she wanted to do?
I think that's what she wanted to sell later. Like
Mm.
if Sheena had gone to Nagpur, right? Then she could have perhaps revealed a whole story, right? A whole narrative there,
Mm.
right? She said, "Don't tell Rahul." So maybe the idea was saying, yeah, she wanted to go see property and not like later on when Sheena doesn't come back. Yeah, I don't know why she did, but she talked to me. She wanted to go see property in Nagpur. I didn't know anything about it. Then when we get there, she shows me this guy and, they wanted to run off and you know what? I don't know what happened. We did look at the property, but then they ended up not getting it. I don't know where they are now, whatever.
Mm.
To
So
make
she
it all
says,
fit.
so Indrani says in the documentary where that she wanted to look for property in Nagpur. Everybody looks for vacation homes. They ended up going to Goa and getting property. But that would have been a cleverer approach, I think. But she sort
Yeah, I
of
mean,
closed that loop
she
by
said they were
saying,
looking at property in Raigad, no?
I think she said, oh, like Penn, where
Yes.
Sheena was found.
Yes. Yes. Like, our agricultural land, right? For a farmhouse.
Let's see.
Nagpur doesn't come up in the documentary as far as my recollection.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
Yeah, that was her everybody does it. Everybody from Bombay does it. You know what? I don't know a
Yeah.
single
Yes.
person. I never met a single person who had a farmhouse there. But I
Right.
mean, I could just not be in the know, but
No, they don't.
I I that when she said that in the documentary, that really confused me. I'm like, really? In all the years that I
Yeah.
lived there, I don't remember
No.
anybody talking about that area for a farmhouse.
Yeah.
So
No.
I guess I'm not in those same circles as Indrani.
Uh, good for you.
Yeah,
Good for
yeah,
you.
good for me. Yeah, so I'm just thinking maybe that was part of the whole picture she was trying to, that Sheena, secretly, she just asked me there. I had no idea what her real intention was. I went with her because she asked me to, and then when I got there was this guy and what have you. And because it sounds like, let's say that it's just Indrani for a second, right? Like she's a solo. She's on her own. Peter's not in the know about this plan. I mean, she could have sold Peter a story that, look, this is what's really going on. Sheena doesn't want to be with
Yeah.
Rahul.
Yeah.
She in fact wants to look for property, wants us to meet the parent. No, maybe or maybe not mention the property at that point, but say, the parents want to meet us. Doesn't mean that she's actually going to have that take place.
Right.
But maybe she laid the groundwork.
Maybe. Yeah. Could be. Could be.
So then that whole Nagpur thing, remember I was like, how does that
Why
all
not?
fit in?
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I don't know.
No clue.
No clue. Here we go. It's Indrani land.
Yeah, I don't want to think like her. I want to, but I don't
Buckle
want
up.
to. Yeah.
Buckle up. It's not for the faint-hearted. Okay, here we go.
Because you come to Goa and we'll see the property in Goa. Okay, Nagpur came as a site, right, which said, listen, I've met some guy with Bentley, this, that, and who owns a Bentley and this and that. He lives in Bombay, but he's got some set up in Nagpur. Come and meet his parents or whatever. And Indrani shared that with me. I told her, I said, we don't do anything of the sort. No need for you to go to Nagpur and meet anybody's parents or anybody of that sort until she has told Rahul that she is no longer with him. You understand? So I have said that has been my...
Wow. Okay. So did he I think he just said that Indrani was going to go meet the parents.
Yeah.
And he told her, don't do that.
Don't go. Yeah. Yeah.
So that theory might be we might be onto something here. Because then she's alone with Sheena over there. She can say that she's run off with this guy.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about whether or not Peter, what Peter knows? Like, it's possible that it sounds like that sounds more like a direct setup of Peter.
You mean Indrani setting him up?
Yeah. I'm
Or
saying
he okay.
that, looked at just on the face of it, that she's telling him and he's saying, don't go. She's not saying, let us go. I mean,
Yeah.
the way he's saying it, it's like, I'm going to go. And he's like, you can't do any such thing because what about my son?
Right.
Like at first she has to deal with the son, right? My son, you have to, he needs to be told properly.
Right.
So that would kind of suggest that Peter doesn't know all of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could make a case for that. I mean, we don't know. I mean, he could be acting, but just saying. Because normally he's like step by, normally everything is we with him, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting in this case that he's like, I told her no.
Yeah, I think that to me that could go two ways. One, he is doing this to protect himself by establishing that he wasn't with Indrani when she met Sheena, wasn't a part of this Nagpur plan. He was just out of it. So later,
Right.
if this comes back to bite him, he can, he can plead ignorance. Like he didn't know anything.
He's saving face for his son. Like, I didn't know
Yeah.
anything. Like trying to
Right.
make it like, hey, she did all this. I'm your
Yeah.
father. I would
I
never
don't know.
betray you.
Yeah.
Yeah, possible.
Or this is something that Indrani and Peter have agreed that they're going to sell as a story. So that it looks like that's why they never met. That's why Indrani never met the parents of this Bentley guy.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
then
Or third, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. So it's 3.
or he doesn't know. Yeah.
Or he doesn't know. I have to say that he
Anything
actually
goes with
sounded
these
more
guys.
convincing there than he
Yes.
has throughout
Yeah.
this whole call. That actually had a ring of truth to it that he
Yes.
didn't have anything to do
Yeah.
with this. More than anything that I think has come before.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time that I heard genuine concern from Peter for his son.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
said the thing
Yeah.
you would expect him to say for the
Yes.
first
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Something
Okay.
that divides Peter and Indrani because she's looking after her daughter and he's looking after his son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. As if yeah, exactly. Like, okay, now he has permission on this grounds to say,
Yes.
okay, in this we're not, you
Together.
take care of your daughter and, I have to be
Yes.
a father. This is
Yes.
not about husband and wife. Finally, at
Yes.
last,
Yeah.
this is
Have a
about,
father first before your
if you're
husband.
going to put your daughter, if this is what's going to happen and your daughter's going to dump my son, then, we have to do the right thing by him. Yeah, that's interesting too. So it's like, oh, so he is capable.
Yes.
Like if he's telling the truth, it's like, cheers for Peter for finally,
Stepping
taking a
up.
stand. Yeah.
He's a grown man too, and Rahul.
He's a grown man too. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see how this goes. What do you think?
Yes.
Ready to go? Okay.
Yes. Fired up. Let's do
My
it.
stand all along.
Ooh, sorry.
And this conversation has happened. I've told Indrani exactly. I said, no need for you to go to Nagpur. Why would you go to Nagpur? Why should you go to Nagpur? If they want to come and meet you, they can find you somewhere. They can come and meet you wherever you are.
Apparently, you can't use Nagpur once in a sentence. It must be followed by at least 2 other utterances of Nagpur. Like you can't just say it once in this family. You have to keep on saying it in different ways. Weird. Okay.
We should create a video clip with
It's
just
like a mantra.
Nagpurs.
Yeah, the Nagpurs. Like I said, it would make a great drinking game for those who are listening.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
you are, either in Bombay or in Calcutta or in Goa or in England or wherever. If they want to come and meet, that's a different matter.
Why would listen for a sec, right? Why would Sheena even mention Nagpur to me if she was planning to meet somebody and go and marry somebody else there with a Bentley or whatever? Why would she even mention Nagpur to me? She wouldn't.
I don't know.
If she's so smart, like you're saying, she wouldn't do that, right?
I don't know what she would do, Rahul.
No, think about it. Think about it.
I'm thinking about it. I cannot second guess. I can only work on what is said and what is not said. You understand? What is said is what.
Did you have something to say?
I was just,
Ugh.
yeah. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, now you want to not second guess. That's all you've been doing all along.
Yeah.
But now suddenly you don't want to second
It's like,
guess.
don't make me think. Don't make me think. Please don't make me
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, because
I mean, that's what he really meant.
It.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to put my brain to this. I don't want to put my mind
Yeah.
to this. Take it on the surface. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
I can relate back to you. Okay, you relate back to me what is said to you. Fine. You said that Sheena told you Nagpur is somewhere Indrani wanted to go and see some property. Okay. Indrani had told me that Nagpur came up in conversation was with regard to this boy has a family home in Nagpur and the family is a family which has got a Bentley. And I said, listen, I don't know whether it's Bentley and
That's all.
Bentley.
Okay, so that's what was important to her. There's a family in Nagpur and they have a Bentley. Not what the family do or the name of the people or anything like that. She wants to marry this guy, but the most important factor is the fact that he's got a bloody Bentley. Come on, man.
No, exactly. That was my reaction too. Saying, listen, maybe who knows what Bentley, Bentleys are not difficult to spot in India. We can find out in 5 minutes how many people have Bentleys in the city, in the country, how many people who have Bentleys in Bombay, and certainly in Nagpur, which is a smaller place.
Exactly.
So it won't take 2 minutes to find out who in Nagpur owns a Bentley and how true that fact actually is. Whether it's a pokey.
Did he just make a case for how easy it is to find Sheena?
Yes, in 5 minutes. But hasn't
Yeah,
done
he's
that
like,
yet.
in 2 minutes we could find that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're
Okay,
not
so
gonna
then
do
why
it.
don't you? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, if it's
Yeah.
that easy, we can stop all the conversations that we've been having for hours.
Yes, days.
I'm like, he just kind of made the case that it's not hard to find her. Then do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
couldn't
hard not
resist.
to.
It's just like, what's going on? Yeah, we see that. Yeah, the whole
Right?
world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally with you. I have the same thought.
Yeah, it doesn't take 3 or 4 days, apparently. It takes 2 minutes.
Right.
Here we go.
Keeps getting sus.
Sus sketch.
Keep out completely about the Bentley. And I know for a fact that there is no property that Indrani has even considered in Nagpur. We have looked at Goa and we keep coming. And we have come to Goa for that purpose. We've not gone to Nagpur to look for property. I'm in Goa right now.
And last time I was in Rahul, last time also I was in Goa here. I was with both at that point also, and Peter knows because Peter was there when I was talking to Sheena, okay? I asked her, I'm looking at some property in Goa, would you like to come along? Okay, so that was my only conversation related to property, and right now also, in fact, we cancelled the meeting right now. We were going to see property just now as we are speaking. I cancelled it because now this thing is, completely, obviously it's bothering me now.
Exactly. I hope so. I mean, what? But, okay, Indrani, why would Sheena even mention Nagpur to me if she had a plan to run away there?
I don't know what I'll tell you very honestly, Rahul, what your relationship internally is with Sheena, I don't know. All we know is 15 days back she contacted me. Now, I have no idea why she suddenly decided to contact me, what it was, but over a period of time, as she started, and she used to call me 3
An air conditioning tune-up from Hauser Heating and Air
Good
can
timing.
improve the efficiency of your home's cooling system and help prevent costly breakdowns.
4 times a day, okay, which Peter knows, okay, because Peter's there in the house with me all the time. Over this period of time, her continuous discussion, because I don't have any conversation with Peter not being there, okay? Peter's there in front of me every time I have a conversation with Sheena.
Not every time.
Not every time.
I like this.
And you can also have dialogue in Assamese, no?
And you talking Assamese, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right, I don't get the conversation.
Wait, did he say I'm not there? Did Peter say I'm not there every time?
Yeah. Yes. Quickly.
Wow.
I mean, he missed it the first time, but he's like, no, not all the time, huh? Not all the time.
I'm just gonna do a 10-second backup.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, let's listen again. This went
Yeah.
really fast.
Yes.
Dialogue in Assamese, no?
And you're talking Assamese, so I don't understand.
Oh, it may be further back.
What's going on?
Yes. Yeah, so Assamese is the language of Assam.
Yes. Which is where
So-
Indrani and Sheena are from.
Which I have not heard. I'm trying to remember. I think I asked you this the other day if you had ever really heard anyone speak Assamese, because like we were
Yeah.
discussing that like if you know some, if you know Hindi, you could know some Punjabi, for example.
Mhm.
So that there's some overlap in the languages. So even if you don't know the language itself properly,
Yeah.
there are bits and pieces which you'll be able to pick out. So
Yes.
I can't shed any light on whether Peter could know some basics of just knowing Hindi and even Marathi, whether or not he could also understand some Assamese. So I'm afraid I'm in the dark on that one. I don't know. But that's kind of an
I don't
important
think I've heard
point.
it. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard it honestly. I can try to find a video and see and play it here. If
Yeah,
we
that
want.
might be interesting. Just
Okay.
to see whether or not there's any kind of ability to discern, similar words.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
Rahu's making an excellent point. Obviously, it's like, well, but is she speaking in Assamese when she's speaking to Sheena?
Yes. Yeah. Great
How
point.
would you know what they're talking about, even if you're in the
Yeah.
same room? So I want to know the answer to that myself. I'm with Rahul. It's like,
Yeah.
he, from what Rahul says, right, we can kind of
Mhm.
discern that maybe it is different enough that Peter wouldn't know anything of what's being discussed.
Mhm.
And I'm sure I'm sure that he heard Sheena speak it with her friends or whatever,
Yes.
grandparents or, yeah.
Or
So,
Indrani. Yeah.
or Indrani. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go back into it.
Okay.
Not every time.
Not every time. And you can also have dialogue in Assamese, no?
And you're talking Assamese, so I don't understand.
Yeah.
Right? I know that the conversation is going on.
Correct. But not all the time in Assamese also. So it's not
The
that.
conversation happened between you and Sheena
Correct.
several times in the last 2 weeks.
Boy, Indrani stuck that in.
Specific details of
Yeah.
that I don't understand some of the time, but certain key things that I've been told, I've shared with you now, which is that, she has brought up Nagpur in a totally different context to what she brought up.
Why would I go see properties in Nagpur for all places in the world? Yeah.
Why, a totally different context to what Nagpur came up in conversation with Indrani was because this boy has some family there. Now, whether which of the two is true, I know I can tell you that we have not looked at property in Nagpur at all.
Yeah.
Why Nagpur is not even in our consideration set?
Okay, that's cool.
Goa clearly is.
Yeah.
I really don't think that Rahul is confused on the point of whether property was looked at in Nagpur.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not his point, obviously.
That's the least of his concerns.
right.
More
But
about
you notice,
what is that?
yeah.
mean?
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, I think there was a little bit of a delay there. What were you saying?
I was like, that doesn't really matter. I mean, if the guy would matter, whether she went to Nagpur would matter, but how does the property matter unless, there's evidence that Sheena went to see the property? That's really not the point.
No, but I do think that Indrani, I mean, I would say that Indrani is a little worried about the fact that Sheena did tell Rahul,
Mhm.
and she's trying to attack the point that, no, why would I, like, she's going off on I never proposed such a thing. And I
Yeah.
don't think she's doing it for Rahul as much as Peter,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It seems like she's
Mm.
trying to shut that story down and bring the focus to, the narrative. And then Peter picks up the narrative,
Mhm.
like, so she becomes quiet. She becomes quiet because now he's back on the
Yeah. Selling the story.
preferred story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise you can imagine that it would be like the letter of resignation. She'd just jump in there
Mhm.
and kind of take over
Yes.
so that conversation couldn't get to the end.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, by
Here
the
we
way,
go. Yes.
I just looked online and it seems that 90% of Assamese and Hindi words are the same. There might be a little difference in pronunciation. So, unless it's going so fast that Peter can't catch up and, the
Well, that's
pronunciation.
possible. That is
Yeah.
possible.
So,
But he did sort
again,
of admit to knowing something of it just then. Like,
yeah.
but
This
I
is such
can't
a
even imagine that Peter wants to hear all these conversations. I mean,
right.
like he seems like he tunes out, or
Yes.
what does he say?
Yeah.
Don't want to second guess. I
Right.
mean, it's not, clearly this whole thing is not, primary in his life. Sheena's not
Mm-hmm.
a big part of what he considers his life, is very obvious at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So what
I
the
think,
women are talking about is what the women are talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, but I think Indrani wants to make sure that, Peter's heard everything so that, she doesn't
Yeah,
seem sus.
absolutely.
And he's just like,
Absolutely.
whatever.
No doubt. It's like, I need to have this witnessed.
Yeah, yes.
So as far as we know, she could be sitting there speaking Assamese to no one on the other end of the line, and Peter wouldn't be the wiser
Oh,
because he's not really paying attention.
yeah.
So she could just be, talking into her phone. He wouldn't know if there's
Yeah.
someone on the other end or not.
Boy,
So
we
all she
can't be
has to
sure
do
about
is
anything.
no, we can't be sure about anything because literally, I mean, she could just be speaking Assamese. He'll make the jump that she's talking to Sheena
Right. Yeah.
or the grandparents,
Oh,
or even if he hears a few words, he can discern who the person she's talking to might be.
right.
So that's pretty easy for her to pull off. It's not like he's going to say, "Hand me your phone and let me see."
Right. And she is deviant enough to be able to do that.
And since he seems to have an attitude like, I don't really need to say hi to her,
Yeah.
like I don't really have a relationship with her. I mean, it's pretty clear.
I don't know her. Yeah.
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 It's like, yeah, whatever they're doing, they're doing. This whole thing's a headache for me,
Yes.
is what it seems like. Yeah. All right, let's see where it goes.
Okay.
Forget Goa, Baba. Why has Nagpur come up in conversation from two different angles?
Why? Because clearly there's some aspect to Nagpur.
Yeah.
Right? There's some aspect. Now, if Sheena is asking Indrani, come with me to Nagpur to meet these people, and she's telling you that Indrani has asked me to come to Nagpur to scope property, then the Nagpur angle is coming from Sheena.
And then Sheena, listen to the rest of it. Sheena also told me that she didn't want to go because she'd feel awkward. And not to tell. Apparently, Indrani said to Sheena not to tell Rahul and not to tell Pete. Pete shouldn't know about this. About the going to Nagpur to look for property.
Yeah, clearly. So clearly, if you try and deduce from that, right, that Sheena has the Nagpur thing in her head, and
Why
she
would
brought it up? Darling, she brought it up in a different context to Indrani, and she brought it up in a different context to you. Okay,
And it might be just a googly, he might be living in Nagpur.
She was fun thing about Nagpur.
We are all talking about
Right.
Nagpur.
Now we're talking about Nagpur stupidly. Maybe she's nowhere near Nagpur. I don't know.
Nor do I, but I just want to find her. God knows where she is. Or what's
But if
happening.
you're all talking about Nagpur now, I've been talking about the boy in Nagpur. You're talking about some property in Nagpur. Now Nagpur would be just a hogwash. No, I don't know any. This is the first
But
time.
if we can't find out where she is in the next, by the end of this afternoon, it's already 5:30. So I'm gonna have to go and file a proper report in the police station, regardless of your guys. Regardless of your guys' attack.
Sounded like you wanted to say something.
I think I'm just laughing at the ridiculousness and like how she gets so worked up if there is something resembling a challenge to her story.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I was just finding
Right.
that really ridiculous. Like her voice is now, her shrill voice is now getting to me.
Yeah, and it looks like she's ready to dump Nagpur right here. and
Yeah.
go for a second story. So let's see where she takes
Yeah.
it, because it seemed like she
Yes.
just had like how
Yes.
do I know it could all be hogwash? So now we're gonna introduce a new narrative. I
Yes.
mean, this is what she told me. She,
Mm-hmm.
so, and honestly, why does Peter think that Sheena is playing both ends? I mean, it, like, let's say let's say he's not involved. Okay. Um, like, and what I mean by that, maybe not that, Indrani's constantly feeding him. There's no way
Mm-hmm.
not to think that at this point, that this is her habit
Yeah.
with him. Feed him a
Yeah.
thought, and then he takes it out and executes, right?
Yes.
Like, even
Yeah.
on the most minute points, that's what's going on. Like, even
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't serve the narrative, but serves
Yeah.
her, right?
Yeah.
So if he's, if he's not in the know, right? The best thing
Mm-hmm.
for her to do is, like, this is starting to get somewhere. The
Yeah.
conversation is starting to get somewhere.
Yes.
Rahul is making some kind of progress in this
Yes.
story. So
Yes.
here's the thing to do. Call it all hogwash now. But
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
but Peter does seem to have, like, this picture of Sheena that, and I don't know if this is because he's uncomfortable with this relationship because it draws attention. At some point, it's
Mm.
like people can find out that his son is married
Mm.
to his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Like, that might present some discomfort for him as a person. And he thinks that perhaps it's in his head that Sheena is the kind of, like, what, quote unquote smart. The way we say that in, what that means in India is cunning.
Mm-hmm.
And that he's thinking, yeah, I mean, it's kind of reveals how he thinks she's capable of playing both ends. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I'll tell these people this, and I'll tell Rahul this, and, I'll get my way. So it kind of reveals something of what he thinks about her to me. If he's innocent,
Yeah.
like, if he's not
Yeah.
really tied up with Indrani on this. And I think we're working on that, to come to some kind of conclusion about that. But it's
Yeah, that's
interesting, isn't it?
actually that is interesting because even Sheena doesn't even Indrani doesn't seem to paint Sheena in a good picture. So
Not
they
at
seem
all.
to be in agreement on that front. So if her own mother doesn't support or is like assassinating Sheena's her own daughter's character, it's possible that she's passed that on to her husband Peter as well, and so he has the same opinion of Sheena.
Well, yeah,
So
because Rahul's not there, when they're having
right,
conversations, and all Indrani has to do is, like, look at this, now she does not talk to
yeah,
him. It's probably about the
yeah,
money. And Peter's like, oh,
yeah,
feeling bad, like, oh, she's, my wife is getting played by her daughter, and she's taking advantage, right? Like, she's kind of
yeah.
probably singing these little
Mm-hmm.
stories, little by little, like feeding the poison
Yeah.
slowly.
Right. And if she says like she just wants money, which potentially is Peter's
Hmm.
money because Indrani, I don't know if she had an income at the time. Also, now she wants to run off with this Bentley guy. Look at what she's doing to your son. All
Right.
she cares about is money. So paints a certain picture of Sheena, and
Absolutely.
neither of them can defend, nor Sheena nor Rahul. So
True.
yeah,
Very
I mean neither
true.
Sheena nor Rahul. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Kind of. This is an interesting phone call.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good for you guys. That's good. Hopefully, the more the better. Even I'll do it.
No, that is, I mean, and we are not even doing it at a junior level. We are doing it at the top of we are doing it at the headquarters with the head of the crime branch. You can't, it is already, we have to, it is not a choice. We've already done it.
Excellent. Well, I'll go and do the same, and then they'll have more, and I'm going on the same thing. I can tell them what I know, whatever I think, and
No. If you go and do your report, this thing, that's
Sheena
absolutely
Sheena
fine.
needs to come back.
Yeah, so you do that. You put a lodger this thing at your local police station saying that she's gone, she sent this message and she's gone. So this is what the last time, this is what has happened.
Did you hear Indrani?
Yeah, wait for something.
Devan Bharti.
Mm,
So see, this is where I start feeling like Peter isn't, because he's like, yeah, go lodge it. Go ahead. Do it.
but he's also saying what to say. Like he's also telling Rahul what to say. That may be a father thing. That yeah, like give these details. Or it's like
It sounds
again,
more
subtly
fatherly
pushing.
because he's not stopping him from going. You know, he's saying, go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's going to make you feel better. In Peter's mind, if he's, you know, not like tied up in all of this, right? He'll be like, yeah, you know, I mean, I'm trying to tell you, son, that she's with somebody else, right? But if that is not good enough and that's not going to give you the peace you need, then go lodge the
Yeah.
complaint. Let them find out. If you're not going to believe us, right? If you're not going to believe us, go do it. Find out. And then she immediately jumps in.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can't wait. She can't wait.
Can't
So,
wait.
see, to me, that you don't really, you know, typically a person wouldn't be like that, where they're like, yeah, go lodge the complaint then.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's sort of saying it in that tone. I mean, rather convincingly to me. I mean, I'm convinced to some degree that he's like, yeah, go lodge the thing then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he knows that Rahul will. It's not like he's doing reverse
Yeah.
psychology there. The guy's
Right.
chomping at the bit to file this report. It's not like he isn't.
Yeah.
But then here comes Indrani with the wait a minute. We've got the
Yeah.
top guy. The top guy. That's the selling point, right? He's the top.
Yeah.
If anyone can track her down, it's this guy. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just ranting at this point. It was just like she
It was
winds me up. But
frustrating.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like we have to acknowledge that you know, that is like he seems more human in the last
Mm-hmm.
you know, few minutes toward his
Yeah.
son than he has in all the previous, you know,
In an
minutes of
hour.
these calls. Yeah. Where
Yeah.
he's like, okay, my son is just we're gonna have to tell, like, it's almost as if he flipped a switch and said, okay, why are we protecting Sheena? Let's just tell him ourselves, you know, okay, there's a guy. It's serious. He's wealthy. And, you know, we're supposed to, you know, they wanted Indrani to meet Sheena wanted Indrani to meet the parents.
So
And
do you
see, he
think
would accept that. You know what? I just
Yeah.
realized this too. He would accept that because he's not the biological father. So I
Right.
wonder if even Indrani had said, you know, we'll have to go, like, I'll have to go, you know, as the
Yeah.
mother, like the
Yeah.
parent.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I mean, God who knows if she even said, I doubt she'd said, let's call Siddharth or whatever. Siddharth, you know.
Oh no.
But
She would not want to
she
be
is the biological parent, so maybe he felt
Right.
like, you know, it's not right. You know, normally people who have had like divorces and things, they don't like to show up together because
Mm-hmm.
it's not a good look, right?
Yeah. 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 Also, I think that would make sense from Peter's perspective that it's not a situation where the stepdaughter is marrying the son. So if she is going off with a Nagpur guy, good, that's better.
That's
Then
better. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because his wife is not happy about this. So
Right.
less headaches for him. I think that he strikes me as a guy, like, if you want to go, I mean, I'm not fond of it, but, you know, I don't really like the look. But I
Yeah.
don't think he doesn't sound, from whatever we're hearing, he doesn't seem like that's his, like, that. It seems like if it's what his son really wanted, he would go along with it, you know. But it's
So do
only
you
because of
think
her, you know,
Yeah.
that he does not want to go, because he knows that it's going to make her unhappy, which is just going to give him more headaches. Anyway, sorry, go.
So do you think until now, whatever we've heard, Peter's just been a spokesperson for his wife? And now the veil is starting to come off, and he's like, okay, I need to think about my son too.
I think given Rahul's reaction, he's having second thoughts about what his responsibilities as a father are.
Mm.
I think that, he was being a husband,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think he just became a father. I
Mm.
think that his son's lack of maybe he didn't really think that this was so serious, that,
Hmm.
maybe
Mm.
he thought that if Rahul knew there was another guy, that would make a dent in this relationship. Maybe he didn't have an accurate view of his son's true feelings. I don't know. I'm just guessing because he,
Okay.
Suddenly he looks more human,
Yeah. Yep.
And then his behavior, if he's been sold this thing and he's trying to keep this secret, maybe Indrani has said to him, you know, uh, Sheena wants to do this, she's interested in this guy and whatever. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want to hurt Rahul. Maybe it's nothing, and he
Mm.
thought, okay, maybe she convinced him that it would be more sensitive to Rahul not to tell him. But and then Rahul or Peter had said, whatever it is, she needs to tell my son. Like maybe they had that conversation, like the
Mm.
discussion. And she, definitely Indrani knows her husband.
Right.
She kind of knows how he's gonna think.
React.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What's your take?
I feel like it's a push and pull for Peter.
Yeah, definitely. He's in a hot seat, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I think I think you're right. I agree with you that he's starting to think more like a father than just a husband. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes further, but it does seem like, Indrani's veil is starting to come off a little bit. Maybe he
Well,
smells BS in Indrani's story. Who
see,
knows?
I don't feel that way. What I would say is that now that the Nagpur secret, quote unquote, is out there,
Yeah.
now that Indrani, hinted at the Nagpur Bentley dude,
Hmm.
he's like, okay, the door's open. Like Rahul's wanting to know what this is. Okay, forget Sheena telling him. Now what can
Mm.
I do? Now that we're here, like I can't not tell him, because it, there's more to this. And, what will I look like if I don't now just say it? Like, there's nothing to hide now. Like, okay, fine, it's come out. So let me roll with it. See, he doesn't have, it is possible, isn't it? That if he is not
Yeah.
involved in this, like, if he's not, let's say, um, y- you know,
Culpable?
directly involved. Yeah. If he's not
Yeah.
directly involved in
Yeah.
this, whatever's happened to Sheena, right?
Hmm.
It is possible that his reticence and all the talk was only
Hmm.
about trying to wait for the time that Sheena tells Rahul about this other relationship. All his behavior could slot, I think,
Yeah.
that he's just trying to keep Rahul
Protect his
going
son.
until the point of time that Sheena could converse with him. In other words, buy time until Sheena has the opportunity and the option to tell Rahul the truth.
Yeah. So, per that theory, according to
Mhm.
Peter, Sheena's still alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
he's not gonna he's not gonna be thinking about it's not his role as a step parent, right? In his mind, I
Hmm.
don't think that I definitely think since Indrani, from the moment, we learn in the documentary, the moment they're off the plane, Mikhail and Sheena, she's telling
Hmm.
them, okay, this is how we're gonna roll. You're gonna call me sister. So she has
Right.
obviously been driving all the dynamics related to these two from the beginning, to the point where I think that would she really allow a lot of attachments to be formed with her husband?
Mm,
I don't think so. It's not going to be like
right.
Viddi, no?
Right.
Where
Yep.
she really
Yeah.
wanted that, and that kind of
Yes.
solidified her like option for marriage here, right? That he took
Yes.
to Viddi and Viddi took to him
Right.
was a big selling point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I don't think she was like encouraging,
Mm.
a lot of fondness.
No.
That's my
Keeping
guess.
them
I mean,
separate. Yeah.
yeah, kind of trying to keep these two worlds separate,
Yes.
as much as possible. So
Yeah.
I don't think that Peter would feel it's his place in so many things related to Sheena, because Indrani would have made it clear without saying a thing that this is
Yeah.
her, relationship
Thing to
to
manage.
handle.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
I do think it's getting really interesting. Like,
It
finally
is.
finally it feels like a real, some real conversation for a change.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's see how we go.
Okay.
We should wait for what the guy comes back with and responds back and says, this is what I found.
Oh, so he's picked up Indrani's thing.
Oh,
Then you should go
come
and lodge it.
on.
I'll come with you. And I'll come with you. We'll lodge it together. I don't have a problem with that. Absolutely no problem with that.
Rahul's like thinking.
Yeah. Is
Hello?
it good or bad?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how the line dropped.
Oh,
No,
did the line
yeah.
drop?
Oh.
Okay, so we're on to a next
I
call.
saw the line drop. That's why I
Yeah.
said hello. But my reason for calling you just now was that I wish you had shared with me or shared with us that yes, you had gone to Reliance, this lady from Reliance had called, and that you were on your way there. Or
Back
whatever.
on this?
What is the lady? What's her name?
I don't know. I didn't catch her name. She came. She sort of called me, said, "Will you come?" and then introduced me to Mr. Mukerjea,
Apparently.
Colonel Mukerjea.
When you arrived at the Reliance office, what did you ask for?
When I got to the Reliance office,
Yeah.
I phoned on the number which was on my phone list. No.
Wow, this is quite the change around.
Yeah.
So do you think
Yeah.
that the line was disconnected on purpose? If it was,
hard.
Peter thought that it was still connected. He thought that the
But it was
line was still
recording.
connected.
Right. It was recording and Rahul is recording. So why would the line suddenly disconnect from Rahul's end while Peter's still talking? Like, hi.
Right.
Unless somebody intentionally hung up and just let the silence hang in there and then hung up.
That was weird.
That was weird.
Wait,
It's
so
like
there was
maybe-
recording was still going on, so that means Rahul's phone was connected.
Mm-hmm.
But why would he have been silent?
Maybe because he doesn't want Peter and Indrani to come with him to file the report. Not that he has to agree, like he can. But I think once he does agree, he would have to go with them. And maybe he just didn't want to say that I want to go by myself. I don't know. That's just a theory.
Maybe Rahul put the phone on mute.
And then hung up.
And if he was on mute, he was probably screaming at the top of his lungs, and all his neighbors were like, "What's happening with this guy?" Because he probably went like, "Oh," like he probably was out of his mind, because then Indrani inserted that thing about Mr. Bharti, and
Yeah.
his father was like, "Yeah, go." And then maybe he just needed a moment to collect himself and think. That would have been a good point, to collect himself and think. Really, it would have been.
I thought he was doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a
Who knows?
big few minutes, though.
Yeah, we've
the
not had
process.
any of those.
I mean, look at how
Yeah.
much we talked about the few. Yeah. So maybe he, I mean, obviously we're speculating, but I mean, it is, it did keep recording.
Yeah.
So that means the phone didn't drop.
Right.
But it's most likely that he put them on mute. I'm just thinking how that would work, because otherwise there's no way the recorder would continue.
Going. Yeah.
Unless he's, do you think that maybe he was not recording using the phone itself? Like a recording app? Is it possible he had another type of recorder that he was using? That's possible. In which case the phone could drop and it could still be recording.
But
I
then
don't
we
know.
wouldn't hear
Mystery.
Peter.
But then we wouldn't, huh? Yeah, we would.
Hear Peter.
The recorder's still going, but the line is dropped. Like if he has if he's not have something in, like a phone app to record his call, if he has something that's outside the phone that's recording, like a tape, not a tape
but the
recorder,
line
although
is
they
still
do
on.
call it tapes. Yes.
Yeah, but the line is
right.
still on. So that means Peter's still speaking and the recording is still happening.
Right.
So the line wouldn't drop.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Well, no. Well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because it would keep going, and
Fog.
then he would.
Yeah. Definitely. My mistake.
Well, this is how convoluted this case is, that it like
yeah, definitely
fogs everything.
But it is a curious time they were finally, I feel, getting somewhere. So whether Rahul, either it's possible that somebody came into the room, or maybe Rahul was somewhere, like before, he was sitting, who knows?
Right.
Doesn't mean he's not somewhere.
Yeah.
Trying to get to the bottom of all this. So anyway. Okay.
I was just going to say that maybe he cut the call. If he didn't want to answer the question, he may have texted them that I'll call you. And then Peter says, the reason why I called you again. So seems like Rahul didn't get in touch with them via phone. We don't have a recording of that. So it seems like he didn't. So yeah, who knows? It's interesting.
I'm wondering if he even, we can't know. We can't know. If I had been him, I might have gotten off the phone at that point too, and then listened back to what just happened. Because they're,
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens in this call.
Okay.
That number. Give me that number.
Why? What do you need the number for?
No, I need to know, darling. We need to be on the same page. I can give you any number you ask me for that I have. If you've gone there and you've spoken to this lady in the line, give me the number. I can give you Mr. Mukerjea's number. It's not a problem.
Okay, let me just dig it out.
Yeah.
What did he just say, Peter, to Indrani? What did Peter say?
Hello?
Hang on. You couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. I think I've deleted it by mistake just now. Edited it. So until she phones again, I don't have it.
It sounds a little bit like Stephen Stearns. I accidentally hit the factory reset.
Yeah.
On my cell phone.
When I was updating my iOS. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, Rahul, we're not buying it, but good for you.
That's so smart. That was a smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move.
I mean, of course, nobody's going to believe it, but yeah, it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see if Peter buys it.
Rahul, what are you doing?
Okay, I guess not.
I just, by mistake, you know what to do. Until she phones again, I can't give it to you. I don't have it. So
you can't give me her number in the line.
No, I don't have it. You've got the boss's number. No, speak to him, Colonel Shubodoi Mukerjea.
Yeah, Colonel. Yeah, we got his name and his thing, and he is saying to me, why is the boy not shared with you that he's here and that he was here?
No, I'm
I
only
have no
speaking.
answer
I'm
to
only,
that.
I'm
How
only
does he
speaking to you
get?
now. No.
No. But since
He's
the time
told.
you were there,
He's told.
listen, since
He's
the
told
time-
me. He told me that I should go from here and file a missing persons report.
Rahul's getting it on his narrative now. He's like, I
Yeah.
can do
Fine.
this too.
He said, did you hear that? No.
Buying
General
time.
Mukerjea said to Rahul that he should go from there and file a missing persons report. Right? So that's what he said, right?
No, I haven't done that yet, but that's exactly where I'm headed. So
Fine, you should go and do that. And if that is, but who is this girl? What's her name? This lady.
I don't know, Papa. I didn't ask her name. I'm not in the state to remember all this, who's who and who's what. I've got one concern on my mind, and that's finding out where this girl is.
Yeah, we'll have to find it. We'll have to go through the hoops. We'll have to go through the hoops to find, when we to get.
I mean,
down to
they'll also do. These Reliance people will also do their own investigation, no?
Of course, and they should do. That is what I'm saying. They're doing theirs. You are going to lodge a missing persons thing. Indrani and myself are calling Mukerjea twice. We've called him already twice. We've called the police head of crime branch. We have communicated that back to you, and so on and so forth. And collectively, if we're working on this thing together, then we have to keep connecting with each other to say, listen, this is the latest development. This is what it is. I've spoken to so-and-so. I've lodged the report. I've spoken to this. This is what he said. So that we are all on the same page.
So that's what we're doing now, no?
That's what we're doing now. That's what I'm saying. This is what has happened in the last 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Since we started talking about it. Because up until then, we'd not spoken to the police guy. Up until then, we'd not spoken to the Reliance guy. Up until then, you had not spoken because the Reliance people had not come to the house. So I'm not pinning any blame on anyone. I'm just sharing with you where sort of the different conversations. I'm not pinning anybody. I'm not saying this is your fault or my fault or Indrani's fault or Sheena's fault. We're trying to locate Sheena. All of us are trying to do the same thing, right? And if we're trying to do the same thing, the least we can do is be
Honest with each other. All of us.
with each other on what conversations we're having and what the conversations have resulted in, who's doing what. So that, you can file a missing person thing in Bombay, absolutely right. 2-3 days your fiance is vanished, you have no recollection, please, you should do that. We have, at our level in Bombay, from Goa, we've spoken to the guy in Bombay. If I was in Bombay, I would have gone and seen him personally and seen him in his office, right? I can't do that from Goa. So I speak to him on the phone and say, listen, this is what it is. These are the details. We've sent him the numbers. So let him do it. He's going to do his homework and he'll get back to us.
Okay.
In whatever time as quickly as he possibly can. You, in the meantime, have been asked to see, have been to see the Reliance, been to the Reliance guy. Reliance guy has talked to you, whatever conversation you had with him, you should ideally share with us, but you're saying that he asked you to go and file a missing persons report.
Yeah, he said what he said to me was his interest is in Sheena from a professional perspective, right? He needs to get her certain of her work and whatnot, which was incomplete or is unfinished. He needs the information and all that back. He needs to know that whether she's going to resign or whether she's not going to resign, whether she's going to stay there or what. And he needs to know that she's okay,
right,
and safe. Those were the things that he said to me,
Correct. No, what did you say?
He said that he's got he's got a lot of sort of background, army background and whatnot, and he'll do what he can.
Yeah. So let him do his side of things. Let him try and locate her. We are trying to do it in our kind of scheme of things, trying to use whatever kind of network we have to find.
What's the address, the house address? Because now if I'm going to file a police complaint, I need the house address.
What?
I have no idea what she said.
You know what she said? She says if you're going to file a police complaint, we'll need to have the home address.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
That sounds like her taking over again. Just saying.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'll be officially officially has put it through with Devan Bharti now, you know. So I'm
Wow.
Again.
She's going to root it back to the guy.
I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, they're either keeping scores, we've done this, we've done that. This is what is
Well,
happening. Like, we're having the same conversation for an hour.
well, I mean, people do kind of, when they're upset and taken aback or have a new thing an experience that they've not had before, can be a little slow to put all the pieces together. It's especially if Peter thinks that, Sheena has, just gone off with a guy.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting is he's not dissuading Rahul from going to the police station and filing the report.
Yeah.
It's Indrani who now has said, okay, if you're going to do that, then we need the home address.
Yeah.
Meaning their Rahul and Sheena's home address.
Yeah.
Which is, a little sus and a little scary. And that
It's also
she's
interesting she
gonna
doesn't have it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't Peter start this call with saying, let's wait for Devan Bharti to get back? He's not trying to dissuade Rahul from filing a report, but did he also...
But only because
say that?
Indrani said in the background, she piped up and said the guy's name, Bharti's name again. So then he went on that direction. But he wasn't going in that direction until she brought it up again. So he's almost behaving like someone who's like a team leader. Okay, you've done these things. We've done these things. The Mr. Mukerjea is going to do his thing. We're all working on our fronts, and as he says, scheme of things, which is like our separate worlds. We're all trying to get to the same goal. So he's like doing a CEO recap. Team X and Team Y and Team Z.
Yeah. Come on, the same
And he's like,
page
okay,
now.
he wants everybody, maybe his, I think, I don't know, I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I mean, could you maybe think that in his mind, he just wants all the teams operating efficiently? That, the Mr. Mukerjea thing is a little embarrassing if his son's sitting in the office and he's talking and he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And that he's like, okay, let's do this, like project management kind of,
Right.
and this need to be on the same page. I mean, that is something that, business people love to say all the time. We all need to be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, kind of noticing that really the hiccup, like, what the course changes are coming from Indrani.
Yes.
Now Peter's joining in, but is he doing that because he's an accomplice?
Yeah.
Or is he
He's
doing
just the
that because
husband.
he's just the husband?
Right. Yeah.
He is going on his own path here by telling Rahul, go ahead. He's not asking for the address.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't think that Indrani on this one has gotten so specific because she's trying to prevent a report.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Yeah.
She wants that in her hands. That's very clear.
Yeah.
Guilty or innocent, she wants to run this show.
It's also interesting that she asked for the report. If she's already filed, she asked for the home address. If she's already filed the report, then why does she need the home address now?
She hasn't filed a report, right? She's just called in a favor.
But didn't they say, didn't they keep
No, they said
flip-flopping?
that
But
we
they say
given
that
your...
officially...
No, Bharti had said no, that don't file a report.
Right, but didn't Peter say that 2 hours back we officially, like, we did this? We've also filed a report with the highest person. Like, I don't know if they're calling just speaking to Bharti filing a report, but didn't they say that we've taken it to the, like, we've reported to the highest cop in the country?
Yeah, reported to doesn't necessarily mean filing a report. I think he's just talking about, listen, we've talked to the highest guy. We've given him your phone number and Sheena's. I don't even know why are they needing Rahul's number other than to exclude him. You know,
I guess
like,
for the
okay,
phone
we don't
calls.
need to look into this phone number because it's Rahul's, right? Like if they're trying to
I think
track,
to trace back, yeah, to trace
right?
back the calls, I think
Just
they
to,
want to do
yeah,
that.
and also to just sort of eliminate his as a
Yeah,
person of concern and save time.
yeah.
I'm getting concerned. So what is the house address? We need the house address. We need the details. What time Sheena left? What time? Whatever. Anyway, those details the police will find out. But I mean, where she stays.
Yeah, and we need to find out about this Bentley, apparently, this alleged Bentley and whatnot.
Now he's doing it.
There can't be that many Bentleys in India, in Bombay or in Nagpur particularly. So we should find out as quickly as possible.
I think we're trying, no? We're trying to find out. We have to say that Sheena lives in such and such place.
Yeah.
Right? And she works for Reliance. We can get her home address because the Reliance guys came to her residence, right?
Yeah.
So we can get the detail. We can get the address from Mukerjea itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
But what do you need a home address for? She's not at home, for God's sake.
She's not.
You
Of course,
woke
she's
up.
not at home, for God's sake. I know that.
I know why. Indrani's going to send the goons.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I get it done. I'll get it done. I can do that. Because I'd like to do that now.
So we get the address. Now, what is the address?
Which one?
Oh, Jesus.
She'd like to do it now.
Why do you need my home address?
I need the home address because without the home address, one cannot file a police complaint. Because I would like to file a police complaint now with Devin Bharti.
You don't.
Because,
No. Of course you can file a police complaint without the home address.
You need to say that this person lives here, this person works here, lives here. They will ask the details, Rahul.
They can take it from work, no, also.
Yes, I can't say I don't know, I can't say that, Rahul, which I really don't know. I don't know where she lives, but I have to give some details. That where she lives, one needs to know that, Conversation throughout the morning, she was apparently talking to somebody called Nishant Khurana. They have identified the number.
Okay,
Nishant
this is a new
Khurana
call,
in
I
Delhi.
Okay.
Have you
No.
ever heard of this name?
You think
Because
so?
I have never heard of
You
her.
know-
I mean, she, like I said, she gave me some story about some Nagpur guy. Okay, now
Yeah.
this is a new angle to, she's from.
Is that a new call, or did she just pick up the handset and speak directly into it?
I thought she did that, but this is like a separate topic altogether. Like she went from home address to talking about Nishant.
Well, things are really heating up here. I think it's going to get a whole lot more interesting from here. Let's find out next time whether Rahul actually files the police report. What do you think?
That would be interesting.
Yep. So it seems like we're. Oh, it's very hard.
Yeah.
You feel like you want to jump in and help them all get to the bottom of this thing.
Yeah. Like mediate the conversation.
Exactly. But I do feel like there's a little glimmer of hope here that they might actually get on the quote unquote same page and start really trying to solve the issue of where is Sheena. So I guess we're going to have to stay tuned to see what's up next. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
See you next time.
See you next time.